season they were kind of, but then Heen came along, former TI winning coach, and then look at them coming back to the top.
The Bill Parcells of Dota.
You gonna go with American references here?
I'm just playing.
So Dota Zone, Bill Parcells. If I wanted Kyle on the panel, then I would ask for Kyle.
Damn, man. That's so brutal. Let's take a look at today's games for you. We've got 5 sets of games on each of the 4 streams. We'll start off with Stream A, our featured kickoff game. There's another US reference. Secret versus Alliance. We'll preview that one in just a moment as they're getting ready, of course, for the opening of day 1 here at Ti9. The other 4 matches on your screen include Virtus Pro, Royal Never Give Up. We give our first taste of them after they came through a tough Chinese qualifier. Also get to see Chaos and Liquid in action, which, by the way, could be Liquid's. It's a milestone game, potentially, for Kuro, because he could become the first player to win 100 games at TI. He needs just 1 more, so it's either in this game against Chaos or at some point today.
And he'd be winning it against Matumba Man? Okay,
yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? We've also got Secret Liquid to, end the day on a high on Stream A. And that's just Stream A, right? So Stream B, let's take a look at that one and show you the 5 games we've got over there. That one also features a bit of Liquid as well. That's got Liquid versus Newbee. In fact, that's the first game of the day. So that could be Kuro's 100th win if they beat Newbee.
Calculate the permutations.
Virtus Pro, Ninja Pyjamas also get to see them in for the first time. See PPD's boys in action on that stage against Virtus Pro. Traditionally, his bogey team, it has to be said, but nevertheless, a good matchup between those. We also get to see the SEA clash between TNC and
That's what I'm looking forward to.
EG versus Na'Vi, bit of old school Na'Vi. They're back at TI again for the first time in a few years. No Dendi on the team for the first time ever at a TI, by the way.
Well,
when Na'Vi have appeared.
As a player.
We
got Dendi around. Don't worry about it.
PSG also in action for the last time, actually, but on Stream B, because they're featured over on Stream C quite a lot, actually, as we'll take a look at our 3rd stream. You can see they open the day against Chaos Esports. They're also in action against their fellow Chinese team, Keen. We'll also see last season's champions, OG, going head-to-head with the Peruvians from Infamous, playing in their very first TI. A number of rookies, of course, throughout the different teams, not least of which also in Alliance, who take on Chaos Esports on the final game of Stream C. And if you fancy a bit of Stream D, there's also, that's right, 5 games on Stream D. So a total of 20 matches on day 1. And don't forget, these are all best of 2. So actually, potentially, you've got 40 games to watch. You can't watch all 40 games. You can't do that.
Well, you can get close.
Which is why I said at the start of the show, it's a tsunami of games.
This is the most exciting time of the year to be a Dota fan.
Dude, I kind of like, you enjoy it, but you also kind of, it's one of those where you're like, I want to watch, but there's that one. No, I'm going to watch this one. I'm going to go back to that one.
They're in the right place.
Guess what? You're in the right, because you're going to do that for us. You're going to be super fan Dota Zone presenter.
The multicast is what we're going with.
Right.
And that means that you are in the right place if you want to watch every single game. You want to keep the blood pumping the entire time. We're going to be switching between game to game. If you want to settle down in one stream, don't worry about it. You can go to stream A, B, C, D. You can watch the games in their entirety. Stay here, though. Stay with me. And we'll be able to watch all the action.
I like that. I'm so hyped, seriously. I'm going to go back. I'm already ready to go and watch.
People say that this is like Dota Christmas, but I think this is more like Dota Hanukkah, because we're giving you gifts every single day of this week.
That's so good. I should also mention as well, my fellow co-hosts will also be here throughout the day on day 1. I'm going to open up things in the morning, because basically, I can't sleep anyway. I was up at 3 a.m. I genuinely woke up at 3 a.m. like it's Christmas morning. I'm super excited. So I'm doing the mornings, because then that obviously calms me down for the rest of the day and just fall asleep. At lunchtime, however, Shiva will be back here at lunchtime to recap the morning and with Neil and go over what's happened so far, what records have been broken, how do the groups look right now, what's going on with all the teams. And then this evening, Mr. Campbell himself, Mr. Rich Campbell, the rookie of our hosting team, we love him really, he will be here for the evening to wrap up the entire day. And then for the next 3 days, we'll each take a day each. So you'll get a little bit of all of us, so don't worry about who your favourite hosts are. We'll have a little
It's
bit.
Rich.
Our favourite host is Rich.
I'm biased to the facial hair, and he's got the mustache.
Did they shave you, by the way, in the end?
No, I didn't let them.
Okay,
they were asking.
I was worried for you.
I know. They were bringing the blowtorch, and I was like, get the hell away from me.
It's bad news, bad news. While we're waiting for our first game of the day,
okay.
All right, how cool were the qualifiers?
Dude,
it's an event almost on their own. I watched the Chinese qualifiers, I was just like, holy Moses, there's so many good teams.
Because there's only 1 slot this year.
Yeah.
Every single region only got 1 slot, which is a marked difference from previous years, and that's what made it so cutthroat. I was, I'm a North American, so I was staying up during NA times. I was watching Newbee, formerly Forward Gaming,
Yeah.
but you know they're under a Chinese banner at a Chinese TI. I think that's going to be very, very good for them.
Yeah. Okay.
That was what I was biasing towards. How about you?
I'm intrigued to see how Royal do.
Okay.
Because I watched the Chinese qualifiers and I was just like, wow, there are so many good teams in here, right? And then when you look at the teams that go out, you're like, hang on, did SCCC, wait, he didn't even qualify, what the hell?
Did Ferrari,
Yes,
former
like,
TI winner?
exactly,
What is he
like
not doing
Ferrari's-
here?
I didn't even realize he was still playing, like how the hell is he here? So it was a real surprise to see the way that it shaped out. But it wasn't in a way, because you just look at it, it's such a competitive region. So
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued to see how they get on. There's a lot of hype around them because they've come out of a tough qualifier, but they've been nowhere all season. So it's difficult to kind of judge them too much. But then
Yeah.
you've got Keen as well, who were like, early on in the major, just kind of, these guys, I don't recognize all these guys. They're kind of like a mixture of old eHome and IG and VG guys. I know all these guys. They're all good, right?
I love the journeys whenever they make their way through the minor to the major, because they're,
Right.
they're not even on the radar.
No, exactly. It's
and they show
fantastic.
up in the minor and they win
Yeah.
the minor. You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
this
I mean,
might be
Vici
something
did that,
here.
right?
Vici did it.
Vici, won a minor, then won a major. off the back
Alliance
of
are
it.
here because they got second place at a minor.
Absolutely.
And so all these opportunities that the lower tier teams are being given, it's leading them to great success.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will look at it and just go, Alliance, Navi, yeah, great. The whole memes they're back memes thing, whatever.
El Clasico.
El Clasico. It is an El Clasico, right?
It is.
We want to see them play each other,
wanna
even
see
if
it.
they are completely different lineups now. But I'm not going to talk about that anymore because we are almost ready for our first game of the day. Our kickoff match that we're going to, carry on that whole Dota Zone thing it's a thing. Trust me. It's going to get.
What is
clipped.
it? Give me the game. Give me the game.
It's Alliance versus Secret.
Alliance versus Secret.
Alliance versus Secret, so it's kind of like a little bit of old school Navi versus old school Alliance, because Loda is the coach.
I see what you did there.
Puppy's over on. See, that's where I was going with the whole El Clasico's
I'll
kind
give
of
it
like
to
an
you,
El
I'll give it
Clasico.
to you.
As you can see, Alliance getting ready in their room right now, because obviously they're playing at the hotel. This is the traditional thing that we do
Yes,
at
this
TI.
is
every
the
year. We
group
start
stage
off-
thing, but
Where's
don't
the
worry.
car?
The grandeur will come soon enough.
Yes,
we'll
it
ease
will.
you into it.
Yes, at the Mercedes-Benz Arena on day number 6 here. But for the first 4 days, we are in the hotel with the players, obviously playing through group stages. Secret also getting ready. You can see the coach Sunby just in the background there. We'll be talking through final moments, I'm sure, with his team. They'll have a plan. Well, he almost dropped the plan, but I think he's got a plan. They'll be getting ready to move towards their first draft.
As
of the
calm
day.
as I would imagine dude has been to every single TI, this is just another day at the office for him.
Absolutely, yeah. It's funny, actually. I know Kuro's not in this game, but he's playing in his first game against Newbee today. Kuro's played 173 games at TI. That's a record right now. Puppy's on 171. So at some point during this event, they might play with each other. They might go, Secret might go deeper.
That's
maybe, and then therefore he clocks up. So maybe one of them gets to 200 by the end of the tournament. That would be fun.
What a legacy, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane when you think how
the only two players
ever left
to have been every single TI as a player.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And S4, by the way, is also on the verge of a record. He needs 6 more wins to move into 3rd all-time at TI.
Wow.
Behind, yeah, you guessed it, Puppy and Kuro.
Imagine that. 2 TI winners. Okay, fine. But S4.
But there's a fun stat. You know Kuro likes records, right?
Yes.
So he also has the record at TI, as he does in professional play, of playing the most heroes.
Yes.
So he's played 51 different heroes at TIs, which is more than anyone else, right? But he's also got a record which I don't think he wants, which is the most deaths. I'm not. Can we rename that?
Yeah, I'm not branding it as deaths.
Can we call it Mega Assist?
Yeah. Space Creations.
Space Creation. I like. He's at 1,800, and
Tactical smoke breaks.
I think it's actually. I did write this down. He's had 1,817 assists.
Wow.
Which is insane. I didn't write down how much. That was bad.
And
Oh
this
yeah, I
was
did 967 deaths.
And this was a
sorry,
player-
assists. Support. Space Creations.
Yes,
He said
that's what I was looking
967
for.
Space
And
Creations.
this is a player who wasn't even playing support the entire time.
No, he wasn't. No, he played. I think he played core.
Once
actually,
upon a time, he was the core.
Yeah, I think he may have played the first 2 TIs as a core, maybe.
Whereas Puppy is cruising along as a support the entire time.
Yeah, he's had a mixture of 4s and 5s, but he's basically been a support the whole.
But the big brain
way
captain
through, so.
also the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's on 1,646 assists in 2nd place. So there's plenty of records that we're looking at. One of the fun ones, actually, that I really am looking forward to getting broken. And this will get broken. There's no doubt about it. Samael currently leads the way, despite the fact he's only played at 4 TIs with 900 exactly kills. And he's averaging more than 10.9 per game at TI, which means
better have made that as your
during
prediction.
the group stage, he will break 1,000. But he's not alone, because Rezo is just behind, and Somnus is just behind him. They're within 30-odd kills. Like Samael's on 900,
The most
Rezo's on
bloodthirsty
876.
of each of their regions, CIS and NA and China.
Kind of a little mini
You know
side
who to be
fight,
scared
right?
of.
We're focused on the group stages, obviously. We're focused on the teams, but there's some nice little side stats going along, which I quite
That's
like
the
to
beauty
follow.
of being in the 9th year of a tournament like this. They have so
Yeah.
much of a legacy behind them.
Yeah, indeed. Why don't we take a look at some of the other teams right now getting ready for their first round
Speak of the
games.
devil.
Liquid right now, there is the man on 99 Ti wins, going up against Newbee for their first game of the day. So they look quite chilled, don't they?
I would hope so. Newbee,
I mean, they're expected to win that one, Liquid.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. To start on the right format. And
Correct.
I mean, you never want to start that. We should also explain that Group A are going to play 3 games today. Group B will only play 2. So it's
Yes.
really important for the teams in Group A to put some points on the board, even if you end up with the whole one. Because I hate saying it's best of 2. It's not really best of 2. It's 2 games in a series.
Sure.
Because you can win both, get 2 points, or you can lose both and lose both points, but you can also at least draw. That you've got to come out of day 1 with a couple of draws, at least.
You got to do some experimentation also.
Yeah.
You got to figure out, get your feet wet,
That's
see
true.
what
Yeah.
strats of yours are good. Maybe against the teams that you
Yeah.
don't favor as much, you go a little bit more wild and
Right.
think what you can get away with.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Liquid notoriously do draw a lot in the group stages. I always
recall
worry
that.
about them a little bit in the sense that, not that they won't get out of the group. I have no doubt that they'll get out of the group, but they could end up in that lower bracket if they're not careful. They've got to be very careful in this group.
I think they want to stay on the cusp where it's like right between that 4th and 5th place kind of thing,
Right.
where you're not a big enough deal that everyone's like, oh, I got to worry about Liquid. I got to worry about all of Weeha's here. I got to ban his Wind Ranger, his Visage, his
Yeah.
Meepo, all that stuff. You just want to stay quiet, and then once it comes
Yeah.
to main event, that's when you unleash the beast.
Yeah, absolutely. Newbee going head-to-head with Liquid, their room right now. Getting ready. Obviously, brand new kit. I like the new tops, by the way.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is the first
yeah.
time some of the fans at home will have seen these new tops.
That's why Newbie needed to
You
sign a
can see
team. They
Aoi
made
2000.
these things, and they were like, someone needs to wear this.
Yeah. They're different from the normal Newbee tops. They're kind of special for this TI, which a lot of the teams have done, actually. Virtus Pro amongst them have got a polar bear.
That's right.
Changed from the polar bear to a panda bear,
I saw that.
which is really cool.
And then they
And
changed
they've
the-
also got the Chinese names on the
saw
back of the
that
shirts,
too,
which
the
again, I
script.
think is a phenomenal thing to do. Really is super cool. As you can see, though, Newbee getting ready. It's a very different looking Newbee. I know that for you, if you've tuned in over the last 8
seem more
years,
American than I remember.
They are a little bit more American, has to be said.
And this guy doesn't. This is the wrong letter of C's. I saw C, C, and
It's
C. Didn't
no,
see
there's
S,
a C
C, C.
missing and there's an
There's
N in
an N
there
at it.
and there's an S missing.
Yeah.
There's S, C, 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 and C. I think he should have changed his name,
I'll
shouldn't he?
buy his perfume anyway.
It should have been S, C, C, and C
SCCCNC.
for this event. only.
China's last hope. I like it.
But as you can see, they're getting ready in their room as well. 5 matches for you to follow through the first set of streams across 4 different streams throughout the day. So 20 matches, potentially 40 games, because they're all series of 2s
And this
as
is
well.
just day 1.
And that's just day 1. I mean, that's why it's so intense, isn't it, in group stage? I don't know how these players cope with it. I love it from a fan's point of view, but
Oh yeah.
so tough.
I can't imagine, because even like on day 1 for us, it's exciting on the later days because you're like, oh, this tiebreaker might happen. This
Yeah.
team might eliminate this team, and all the permutations start happening. But for them, every single match is critical.
Yeah, absolutely. And for more so than others, let's recap the groups for you and show you the 2 sets of groups. In fact, let's take a look at Stream A first of all and show you the matches that we've got coming up. As we said, Secret versus Alliance to kick things off here on Stream A. We'll also see Vici Gaming in action against Royal Never Go Out. Always a good clash between 2 Chinese teams. The style, the meta is very Chinese orientated, and also against Vici, it's a great test for Royal Never Go Up straight away, because Vici are double major champions from the season, which I have to say, now I was not expecting this season.
No.
They're silver for a reason. We had this meme going on for a while last year where they kept finishing second.
I remember
and all
that.
their teams finished. VGJ Thunder finished second, VGJ Storm finished second, then the main team finished second. They were just like, gee, like Christ, guys, how can we win something? And then someone pointed out, hey, why don't you change your logo to gold? Maybe you'd win something.
So
and
you're saying
they
that-
jokingly did for a while. They actually switched it. They were like, hey, we're going to go gold now.
So you're telling me that Evil Geniuses should have changed their color to bronze then?
Well,
Because I saw a lot of third
there-
places for them this season.
There is a bit of third places. They also, by the way, have the record for most third places at TI.
Really?
Yes. Which is like,
It's a dubious honor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's consistency, though.
It is consistent. Let's take a look at Stream B and show you which games are over on our second stream. There's your 5 matches of the day. EG amongst them, of course. They'll be playing Na'Vi a little bit later on. Back at a TI for the first time in a few years, since 2016, in fact. And for the first time ever here, without Dendi on the roster. It's going to be a very peculiar kind of look to the Na'Vi team. Intrigued to see how they get on.
Still a good Na'Vi, though.
I think this is a good Na'Vi.
It's very, even though during the season, like, CIS has been a very, very weird region to read. Much as how
competitive,
China,
though.
Exactly. And so a lot of people thought that Gambit was going to be, that logo was going to be there instead. But they lost to Alliance in their cutthroat match at Epicenter, and then just kind of crumbled in the CIS qualifier. But so far, every single player that I've spoken to say that Na'Vi has been good. They've just not been able to get to an event. But every single time they're scrimming, every single time it's in these qualifiers, they're putting up a really good fight.
We've also got the SCA teams in here as well. TNC versus Mineski, always a good derby.
Yeah.
But TNC seem to have the upper hand this season.
That's what I see.
Feel like they started well at the start of the season, but they kind of tailed off.
Yeah, I think that's a victim of the Southeast Asian region as much as we see Fnatic here as well. Fnatic had a pretty strong start at the season. And you come around here and they don't even have the full roster that they qualified to TI with. They ended up replacing one of their players, and now they're coming into this TI fresh. And I mean, maybe that's the change that they needed because they were not looking good toward the last few months.
They were struggling a little bit. Also, last year's runners-up on Stream C today, featured twice. They're also on the other stream as well. If you fancy a bit of PSG LGD action, they're in action against Keen and Chaos. Two very different teams, actually, for LGD to go head-to-head with. Keen, obviously, from their home nation, they'll know an awful lot about them, and most of their players as well, they've either played with or against over the last few years. Chaos, though, proposes I don't know how you rate Chaos. It's very difficult. I feel like they're the kind of team that might not make it out of the groups, but they're also a team that might finish top 6.
Whenever I was watching the EU qualifiers, I was just like, okay. I mean, they went to this region. They got lucky that Alliance made it through the qualifier gatekeepers, because Europe has been the most dominant region this season. So many teams qualified directly that all of a sudden the qualifier looked pretty easy, and a roster that you can just slap together maybe 2 weeks before you have to go through qualifiers ended up making it here to TI.
Yeah, it shows that you can make it from absolutely anywhere. Our final stream and our final 5 games on screen for you right now. We'll start off with TNC versus King game. A great opening game, actually, for both teams. Both of those teams will be looking for the 2-0 early on to kick off their TI in the most positive way that they can. OG versus Na'Vi, also there as well for their opening matches. Secret Newbee, Fiji Fnatic, and Keen versus Mineski.
I'm
it's
sure
your final game on Stream D.
A lot of people may be watching this and they're like, well, the defending champions are here. Shouldn't they be favorites? But OG didn't have the best season to their whole year either. They had some roster changes, but then
and they've ended up back where they were.
Yes,
12 months
it's
ago,
a cycle.
cool.
Ana goes on cooldown after every single TI.
He does, yes.
And now he's back, and OG's been in top form, but still, they have a long road ahead of them before they want that second Aegis.
Yeah, there is a lot. And we should explain to you as well, actually, as we take a look at the groups again for you with 9 teams on either side of the groups, that no team here and no player here has ever won more than 1 Aegis Championships.
8 years? No one's won
8
twice?
years, different team.
What?
Different set of players every single year. And if this year it turns out to be a Chinese team that wins, it will be another brand new team.
All 5 players?
All 5 players.
Oh,
so
man.
that's it's one of those where you're like, oh, maybe the gods have set it up here. Maybe Lord Gaben himself has decreed that actually no one can win 2.
I believe it.
I thought the problem was with 3.
No.
I thought that was the problem.
No.
But maybe it's with 2.
More than 2, less than 4.
Right, but that's EG.
That is EG indeed.
No, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I'm
1, 2,
familiar
EG,
with.
4, 5. That's how I count.
That's how I learned in school.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned that as I was going. As you say, very competitive groups, and as we've already said, one from each of those 2 groups will not make it out. So let's talk about that, the pressure.
Yes.
Because it's not for everyone. In both groups, there are 3 of the top 6 teams in the world in both sides, and there are 3 former winners on both sides as well. But there are some newer teams here with newer players. What's it going to be like for them stepping into TI for the first time? I'd imagine, because they're in the hotel first off, maybe it's not quite so intimidating.
Right.
But it's still TI. They want to win every game. There's a lot of pressure for them.
Yeah, especially I think Infamous is the most obvious team whenever you think about that. South American representative. It's only the 2nd time that a Peruvian team has made it to TI. The tug of war between South America goes between like Brazil and Peru, and this time Peru got it back. And so I think most of the time, a lot of teams are just very happy to be here. Their qualifiers are cutthroat, and making the opportunity to come here means that you get a pretty solid prize, just even for getting last place, because making it here is a big honor in its own self.
Yeah, but Tough for them to get out of the groups, though.
Very tough.
And the other group?
The other group's harder to read for me.
It is, isn't it?
I don't have a clear bottom runner, back runner.
Right.
So I'm kind of leaving that one open to maybe day 2 predictions,
Okay.
I think.
All right. I'm not pushing for ultra predictions. It's impossible when we've not seen any of the team.
Oh, okay, then Secret. Secret definitely bottom
Okay,
of the group.
fine.
Yeah, they're eliminated.
Definitely
They're out.
Secret
They're
bottom of the
gone.
group. There is one team, however, that has played between the last major and now at a competitive event.
Yes.
And that's Alliance.
Alliance.
So I want to talk to you
I
about it
mean,
because it's unusual,
Summit
right?
is competitive.
Okay, loose in the loosest sense we can call it that.
Right.
But it's unusual, isn't it? Most teams normally they have this big gap between the last major or the last big tournament and TI. It's sometimes anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks, and we don't see them play. We don't know how they're going to play, and they do that on purpose in some ways, in that they don't want to let any of the other teams know. And I feel there's a few sleeper teams in here. I feel like, sure, we've seen the best of Secret. We've seen the best of Vici Gaming this season. We've even seen the best, maybe, of Liquid as well. I don't feel like we've seen the best of Virtus Pro. I don't feel like we've seen the best of OG. I feel like they've been a little bit sleep.
Yeah.
But okay sleep. Like, as in, like, we're fine. We're just plodding along, and we'll get to TI, and then we're going to come out.
Sometimes it's a good thing, though. Every single time that OG was considered to be the top dog going into a TI,
always
burned
lost.
out.
I think that happened at TI5 in Secret. We're on a roll. I think we won
Exactly.
6 events in a row.
I mean, Secret has been such a good team for so long, and the best place they've ever gotten at any TI is 5th/6th place last year,
yeah.
which is
The
crazy.
best result.
And so you'd think that a team that has been so dominant for so long would be so good. Same thing with Virtus Pro, dominating previous DPC
Never better
seasons.
than 5th, 6th.
Sorry?
Never better than 5th, 6th.
Never
either.
better than 5th or 6th. That's crazy for a team like that. And so that's why they were my prediction to
Yeah.
win this TI, but that's just because I think CIS, they deserve the Aegis again, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It
I
has
mean,
been a
TI
long
won.
while.
That's the only one they've won
Pretty
so
much.
far with Na'Vi. So maybe it's time for a second one. Let's check in with a few of the other teams and look around. This is over in Team Secret's room right now. They're just going through.
Secret for me is going to be
final replays, maybe.
of the enemy team,
Yeah.
of course. So
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
his eyes just like, man, I played such a good Pudge this game. I'm going to watch that all over again. And that's why I'm excited
You do
to watch
that regularly?
Secret.
No.
Oh, yes. One of my favorite things, if I ever play a Broodmother game and I just completely dominate the other player, I will download the replay and I will watch it from their player perspective.
Okay,
Just
so
so I
you
can watch
can
their
see how
panicky
they
right
suffered.
clicks. Exactly.
I like that.
And then I just sit back with a bag of popcorn and I'm like, God, I'm good.
That sounds good to
Oh,
me.
man.
I should do more of that.
Dude,
it doesn't. I don't really make other players
Heals
suffer
the soul.
that much. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when you play 5, actually I play 6.
Oh, so you're suffering.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, wow, look at me, plant those wards.
Yeah, no.
Can't really look at the opposition from that because they're going to go, wait, that's a sick ward, dude. Doesn't really work.
No.
No.
Unless
So
you're Puppy. I've seen him play some pretty slick Quelling Blade wards before, but
yes.
it's
Yeah,
not as flashy.
No, but it's as flashy as a 5 gets.
Exactly.
That's flashy for 5s, dude.
And then
I mean,
the 2 players that we were mentioning with all these stats, they were 5
they
players.
are 5s. They
So-
are 5s now.
Now. And that's why that's what you carry your team to success with. These captains.
We should talk about this first matchup then, because we're not too far away from kicking off now. Alliance versus Secret. It's a tough opening for Alliance, but in a way, I think probably better to play Secret first, do you think, rather than later on in the tournament?
Yeah, I think mainly because Alliance are trying to get a handle on things like we had mentioned. They had played recently, and Loda knows his team very well. This is a team that a lot of previous rosters would have just shuffled after making not as many results, but Alliance stuck through it. Loda knew that there was potential with these boys, and so even though we saw them playing Summit, I'd see Insania just like chilling with us, playing code names and stuff like that, and I'm like, shouldn't you be like prepping for TI or something?
He's chilled.
He's chilled, and that's why I have a lot of confidence in Alliance. I think that it's a Europe on Europe region as well, and Alliance moving up means that Secret may have even been scrimming them and consider them worthy partners. So
The Secret start this as the hot favorites.
Yes.
They have to start as
They
hot
have
favorites. Are they needing a 2-0 out of this, or can they get away with a 1-1?
they can get away with a 1-1 if they play weird heroes.
Okay.
If they're playing the cookie
So if
cutter,
they're testing, you mean?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because I want to see some like Yaps or Luna. Luna's getting so many buffs because we have not seen these teams play on this current patch yet. There's been some DEF patches, and now a lot of heroes got buffed, and we're seeing what may emerge. And I think that Luna is one that's been kind of creeping up.
I like that.
So that's what I want to see.
See a bit of four Luna.
Exactly, but if they lose, then I'll give them a pass. But that's what I want to see from them.
All right, but that's what he wants to see. Do let us know via all the social media channels what you'd like to see. We're going to take a break here in Shanghai, but when we come back, we will be getting underway for day number 1. Don't go too far away. The start of Ti9 is just around the corner.
strongest roster staying together of all time, I think. So, yeah, it's been a very stable team, but they have made this one change, and it's one of the players that we're really excited to see what he's going to end up playing in this tournament. Weeha hasn't been playing too many different heroes lately, but it looks like kind of a big change-up already. Every time we go to TI, you're just curious about, okay, what heroes are you going to be seeing in the first phase? What heroes are going to be prioritized by teams in general? Like, there's generally a bit of overlap between what teams like, and then there's some pretty clear like flavors for each individual team. And I don't think this opening from Liquid is going to be some stable that we'll see from a lot of teams. But I have heard a rumor that this Mirana could be a big thing this year. So
the Mirana's could be the hero? Okay.
Yeah.
We do know there's an echo. I see our audio guy looking at it quite closely, but we'll try and get that sorted out as quickly as we possibly can. Yeah. It's actually something which I was interested to see, like, actually coming into this. Like, obviously, it's day one group stage. How do we actually begin our draft? Like, Zeus and Beastmaster, it's not going to be the normal thing. Where does Mirana actually fit into things like this? Like, this is actually, like, it feels like the old Pile I Die style hero that he always used to. Well, he didn't pick it back then because he wasn't the captain like he is on Newbee, but it was always something he was renowned for.
It's a really interesting 4 after the changes that it had to the arrow, the increased damage on level 1. It's obviously a super strong stun if you have any sort of setup to combine it with in the mid lane. It's one of those heroes that can totally offset the balance of the mid lane, which as of late there hasn't been that much ganking going on toward the mid in the early levels, but Mirana is one of the heroes that can do it. So that's interesting. Matchup yet. This Ember could be a side lane Ember. And if
do
you
we also know Alchemist's lane? Like,
we don't know Alchemist
because there was a conversation. I think Fog was actually involved in that, where he's like, you know what, I play my safe lane Alchemist and I still haven't lost my lane. No matter what happens, I still don't lose my lane. So, like, the mid Alchemist is something that we know we have for, but is this actually locked towards the mid, especially when you see Zeus picked up too?
Not necessarily. I feel like this opening put Alchemist in safe lane, but I'm excited to see how it goes in this tournament, right? I have this feeling from the past, you know, about Alchemist. Okay, if he gets crushed in lane, the recovery curve is quite steep.
Yeah.
Sure, you can put him in the safe lane instead of mid, but what if he's countered in both lanes, which is what I'm a little bit concerned with here. Newbee can counter him in both lanes by putting Ember safe lane and maybe the Svenna's position E with a strong kill lane, perhaps, or at least until they picked Sven, they had plenty of options. Now maybe they've limited here. Newbee can counter him in both
actually,
lanes
like, isn't it meant to be where you keep everything very hidden? Like, you're not showing off your lanes at the very start, but like, it feels like every single hero the Team Liquid's opening up with, like, well, Beastmaster, what are you going to do, run him as 4, with Zeus and Beastmaster? Like, it feels like they're being very obvious with what's probably going to be at least one of their cores.
Yeah, I think Beast is a 4. But
you
like,
running like AUI?
I mean, it is possible for all of these 3 to be very unusual. Okay, that's a support or an off lane. It could be position 3. Magi is a hero that I think we will quite a bit this tournament. The rest of the year,
not just in the campaign posters for the MVP for the Arcana vote.
Receiving some nice buffs, multicast.
10 seconds remaining.
So I believe it's 75% on level 1 to multicast. So it works with items, high level fire blast, and he's an innately tanky support in lane, right? High armor, high regen, likes buying stuff, or Orb of Venom. Defensive, so he has options.
You can't do it like, obviously you can't stack the down shield.
No, right, you only go one. But I think part of the reason Ogre is a very interesting hero is the ability to go position 3 nowadays, because lately we've been seeing a lot of auras on position 3s in their games. And Ogre is one of the heroes that can easily buy these auras because he can farm with the multicast Midas. Tidehunter.
Yeah, so this kind of locks up Newbee's lanes. Like Ember mid, Sven safe, Tide off, and then Mirana roam. So they're actually leaving their position 5 to pick up last.
10 seconds remaining.
We want this Tide to Alchemist in
5
any lane.
remaining.
He can also face Alch mid. I feel like that should be a Tidehunter favorite lane. Anchor smash him, you take a CS.
They ban a Bloodseeker as the final.
That's one of the best lane counters to Alch. And this might be an indication that Liquid are planning to put the Alchemist mid because they think the Ember Spirit matchup is good. Maybe they think the Tidehunter match is fine. I haven't really seen that lane played. I'm just theory crafting here about if Tide wins that lane. But
10 seconds
limiting
remaining.
the options here of Newbee. Hard counter Alchemist.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe Bloodseeker's also good against the last hero Liquid are thinking about. Ogre is 5, 4, so they will last pick Miracle's hero. There's nothing here that says Miracle to you.
No. Not unless he's, well, if he was running the mid lane, then it would make more sense.
He could be playing the Alchemist. The Alch in either the lanes get Weehaw last pick.
Yeah. We and Miracle, they're both not foreigners. But it's where you want him in the laning phase. What goes well. The Tide comes towards the off lane, it doesn't really feel like Team Liquid have the ability to zone him out. Like if you are running this is a support Zeus and support Ogre, like they're not going to do much to him. And now Newbee do wrap up with a 5th pickup with the Ancient Apparition.
Looks like that for Mirana. Tide 3, Sven 1, Ember 2, pretty standard for these heroes. They obviously pick the AA as a solution to that Alchemist, moving the regenerate.
It's a Miracle Alchemist, it's a Wee Viper.
Yeah. He could end up having a hard time in the laning stage, honestly. It depends if Newbee can their lanes correctly. I think my gut tells me that Sven can solo against Beastmaster from level 1. It might be a bit tough. Maybe he needs help for like 1 or 2 minutes from the AA.
Well, do you change it up then for Team Liquid? Do you push Mind Control into the safe lane for you and actually run like the off lane Alchemist? Because that's what it used to be like with the support Zeus. You go up, you burn everything you've got, and that's meant to help just at least win you the lane.
I know what.
Then you die and you come back.
No matter what they do, they want to give Miracle. And the Viper is more than likely going mid. They could put Alch mid and side lane a Viper. That has been done before.
It would be interesting to see the flexibility from Team Liquid, because every time we've watched Wii play, it's like, hey, Wind Ranger, or it's Wii in the mid. Like, it's not that dynamic. Hey, we can always just change up our lanes and go wherever we need to go.
Yeah.
So that would at least be interesting to see from Team Liquid, to see what type of Team Liquid we have here at Ti9.
It's true. I feel like we'll mainly be seeing Weehaw mid. I think if they make lane adjustments, it's not because it's their priority. It's forced to, or because the benefits just clearly outweighed, but I don't think it's what aiming to do with their drafting. We'll see if they try to make these two players very interchangeable in this draft. When they put their lanes with Alchemist now, like you said, he probably wants to dodge a potential aggro lane from the enemy. So if Newbee have any interest in contesting him heavily, which I think they should, you don't just let Alchemist free farm, it becomes this kind of rock, paper, scissors, you outsmart your opponent where you put your lanes. Both teams are likely to move out aggressively and place wards so that they quickly get information about potential lane swapping. We'll see, there's the smoke coming out from Newbee. Smoking for now. They do, of course, have the big benefit of Beastmasters. Hawk. Kind of an underrated aspect of this hero level 1 is the ability to cover one stairway and see possible lane rotation. Probably going to see this Hawk try to maybe land somewhere in this area over here at the shrine, gather information.
You mean up here, do you?
Not that. Wait. What? Oh yeah.
Over here when I'm the one doing the observing and not seeing your screen.
Oh, you see me drawing on the map. Circle.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah,
oh,
there you
up
go.
here. Okay, yeah, right.
Bullseye. It was right there.
Yeah. Just gotta observe correctly, huh?
Yeah.
So the smoke from Newbee won't be able to see the Alchemist, so Miracle's not
30
revealing his
seconds
lane
to
out. I'm loving the build coming in from GH. 5 mangoes is not enough. He's one shot of a full daiquiri. But he's starting off with his lightning bolt, so it's just straight up single target harassment at the beginning, and Mind Control will run the off lane. Kuro's staying with him for the moment. But it looks like Newbee feel like the best thing to do is run snaking up at the top lane, so it will be tied up on the safe lane, CC and C in towards the mid, and that gives your off lane to Yoa.
Oh yeah, this actually
working
makes
with MSS.
this makes way more sense. I don't know why we did. Tidehunter against Beastmaster is a good matchup. So. Bit stuck in this way of thinking that, oh, you could leave the Sven alone and go to Tide's lane, but this is better. I would say flat out better. If they get this Tide against Beast matchup, that's a matchup Tide loves, because once you get Kraken Shell level 2, you basically ignore the boars at part, and it allows them to play this very strong aggro tri-lane with Sven, AA, Mirana. This lane is filthy. And Alchemist could struggle.
I was kind of like joking about it before, like, because I just hear the conversations happening at the welcome party. I was like, you know what, an Alchemist, he'll be fine. He'll be totally fine, just as long as like, there's no way he can lose his lane. But they're definitely going to put that to the test. Snaking is being pushed back underneath this tower. He's got a lot of regen to work with. Miracle, he will really be running this hard. Drag whatever creep you got back underneath the tower and just farm in potential safety.
Very interesting to see Liquid take this approach. Maybe they're thinking, if we aggro trial, we're not winning our lane anyway, so we could aggro onto the Tide. Oh, he might be in
Snaking's
trouble
actually
here.
in a lot of
He's dead.
trouble. He can't move himself back. Kuro's got the body block off, and all that early harassment damage from GH did us work.
So the logic here, we can't win our safe lane with the Alchemist, so we might as well leave him alone, pressure another place on the map, and what our benefit is maybe we can stack some camps. Actually, never mind. They went for the first blood, and now they're coming bottom.
Yep.
We're giving Miracle a little bit of a head start on experience by not taking that as 3 heroes. They get him the acid spray that might allow them to play this tri-lane. Zeus, by the way, starting with 5 mangoes.
Yep. 5 mangoes, going in for the boots, having a casual stick. If he is going to be part of this tri-lane versus tri-lane, then it makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's been Weeha versus CCNC. And so far, CCNC has been pretty heavy on the CS in front of him.
Yep. Don't actually know how this lane...
Pilot Eye. And there's that chaining stuns up. There's a quick pause. CCNC, hotkeys, not so great. But Pilot Eye, also not so great. Caught inside the acid spray, but all the stuns and bolts have already been used.
He has another bolt in 3. I think if Kuro gets in one more hit and Alk gets in one more hit, Alchemist is stunned. I think Pilot Eye might survive this. It's gonna be... Yeah, he's... One more hit and a bolt would have done.
UI even made sure they had a little bit more space. So they'll burn the south and back up. Keep your eyes on the runes.
Even though there is this head start for Mind Control top from the first blood, going the way of Liquid, Mind Control did not get that kill. I got a bit of the elite gold. I think Snaking should be taking control top, so it's important for Liquid that if they are helping Miracle with these 2 heroes, it needs to be worth it. Currently sitting on 4 CS minute 2.5, and that's not great.
Yeah.
And as you said, Weeha is not winning mid lane either against CCN. So far, I would say a pretty good start for Newbee for all. So
And CCNC's not letting up on the aggression. He's staying up in the face of Weeha. Wee's already forced to salve up. He had his opportunity because Sleight of Fist was used.
Another benefit of the Mirana, we're seeing that right there. Didn't talk about that, but of course can one-shot those neutral creeps. Arrowed the big Wild Wing.
Is under attack.
Playing these tri-lanes, that could be a very nice farm. Experience and gold for them. Obviously, if Liquid are nearby to the camp, also get experience. We want to try to potentially zone them away or try to farm these big creeps while Liquid's doing something else.
I always feel like Liquid are trying to get aggressive on this bottom lane, but they're not finding the opportunity to do so. Paradise moved to a very defensive position, always behind Yoa.
Sven is not a good target. That's one of Alchemist's biggest weak laning is terrible, but he doesn't offer much in the way of offense unless you skill Unstable Concoction, but then your Acid Spray is weak or your Grievous Greed is too low level when you want to go for jungle. So maybe Miracle will get 1 value point, we'll see,
Yeah,
but you
he's
definitely
gone
don't level it beyond that.
2-0-1 for the moment.
Yep. Newbee are very happy right now.
Yeah.
Their lanes are going great, they're winning 3 lanes. I guess, actually not true. Beastmaster is still ahead on net worth up top, but Snaking should be able to slowly overtake. Look at those boars tickling 5 damage per hit.
Yeah,
When he gets level 5, it's 0.
I'm actually just wondering too then, like if this rotation that Kuro made to the bottom lane, yeah, they're really going after Miracle. Have they got enough damage? He's still got the Acid Spray, he can pop up the Cold Feet's able to trigger Miracle. He's back up at the tier 1 tower. Couldn't even get the Acid Spray off. If he did, Yuwa may have died a little sooner, but it's still GH and Kuro doing the work. Hardeye will make a break up through the trees. And Kuro's trying to stay on him. Has to walk off the Cold Feet. Deciding to actually walk towards the north, which means the arrow from MSS able to connect. Ven's on the way. They leap in forward, try and body blocking Kuro. GH moving in forward too. Kuro is so low, he's got stick charges available, but GH, the Storm Ball, it flies forward. At least he got enough range to get out of the Cold Feet. The GH solo, another leap forward. MSS staying on the aggressive.
Surprised MSS saved these. He could have gone for the Ogre kill perhaps, but maybe felt like he wouldn't have the damage to take him down with the Stout Shield and instead saves the lead to get this other. And now he has another charge in the backpack. To go with. Oh, I'm gonna go Bottle first. Looking for some runes, minute 6, minute 8 in the bottom area.
Don't also get aggressive in mid. Now that you've got the TPs back, Bottle forward from the Ember Spirit, he'll want to get in there, but GH is reading the situation. Puts down the defensive Observer Ward. They can see the arrows coming from the other side of the trees now.
When you look at this, so Alchemist, this is the build you're going to see on Alch almost every game. 2 bracers. They're trying to put on some aggression here, but he's just too tanky now with these 2 bracers. The magic resist and the health should keep him alive against Jawar unless there's a great arrow coming in.
It's flying in, a little bit off target. The Cold Feet won't trigger either. Miracle's into the trees, but Jawar's going to stay with him, and Miracle blocked in, has to cut his way free. MSS leaves forward, looking for him, can't juke it out the tree line. Support was coming in from GH, but it came way too late.
Yeah, I was like, he's fine. Surely if they start diving the tower, there's going to be some help coming in from either just cooldowns or bad communication, and they end up not getting that. Might get a kill on MSS. No, he will get away.
He's got so many stick charges, and Kuro's got no follow-up.
They just let them dive Miracle for literally 15 seconds.
Yeah.
They got no help. Maybe TPs were on cooldown.
Yeah, maybe they were as confident as you were too. It's just like, you know what, you're fine, Miracle. Like, you're totally fine. You almost juked him out through the tree lines too. So MSS and Paladai will end up burning the shrine straight back out to being aggressive again.
Miracle's had enough, by the way. He's whatever.
He's got his 2-0-2.
Yep.
So that's fine, right? GH is still able to farm at range on this bottom lane.
You've got to still be a little bit concerned though about this hero combination of Viper and Alchemist, because what ends up happening is that they both want to jungle. Viper wants to jungle with the Nether Toxin, and Alchemist wants to jungle with the Acid Spray. So one of them is going to not get the full farm that you would like.
You actually see it from Weeha, right? Like, he's got 4 points up in the poison attack, 1 point in Nether Toxin.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It hasn't really served him that well either. Hasn't been able to shut down CCNC with this aggressive build, and generally on Viper, if you go for this aggressive build, it's to lane dominate, but CCNC has been fine.
They're coming for Miracle. No Observer Ward's being placed, and Miracle was already aware of this. They walked underneath an Observer Ward, just planted north of the bottom rune. And now Kuro's trying to do something about Paladai. He's in deep. Viper's moving over too. If Weeha can just get in range for the Viper Strike, they could potentially find this kill. The arrow's not helping out, and there was a Wild Wing to catch it out, and there's Paladai stunned up, locked inside the Nether Toxin, and he realizes that Wee's Nether Toxin will just let him tick. He's already moving back to the mid lane, trying to save time.
There's gonna be kills in this area. Both teams have way too much to do here to not go and either scout or fight. Every Alchemist game kind of goes like this. Whether he's played mid or safe lane, he will want to retreat into the jungle, and you want to limit him as much. The Paladai went down here to scout and try to ward, and Miracle has retreated to the top half of the jungle, where you would imagine Newbee are trying to invade soon.
Mind control, the Ravage, it's just going to clip him on the edge, barely on the edge, but the arrow will be able to connect and then just hold him in position. Cannot get a roar off, and Mind Control gonna feel pretty sad about that. Put up the Hawk just a little too late to see MSS waiting in the trees.
I actually thought that Ravage would miss. That was very close.
Yeah.
Snaking, knowing the limits of the Ravage there.
So if we've got some downtime, we can watch that in slow motion on our replay in just a bit. But Weeha's adding a bit of pressure towards the mid lane. Kuro looking to try and help out to get the kill onto CCNC. Now there is no Flame Guard available, so CCNC feeling a little pressured. Gets back up the hill, Slider Fist tried to dodge that attack, buying a little bit more time with a phase boost, movement away, but no, it's going to be way too much with Weeha having that double damage rune. And Mind Control's arrived, Vladimir's is up, and they're going to add the pressure to the tier 1 tower.
Look at the build on Viper too.
Double braces. We're going into Veil. Okay,
tanking up.
We've got ourselves a moment. If okay, so here's that Ravage just on the edge, but he actually went a little bit further than that. I saw a tentacle in front.
Maybe I don't know why I felt started further away than he actually did.
Well, he did it in the lane, and he had to do it over a row of trees. So
yeah,
the hedgerow just confused. And we're back and good to go. There's pressure in towards mid. MSS's arrows coming off cooldown now, but they will not be able to defend this.
This is a huge move.
Middle tower has fallen.
Getting mid tower minute 9. When you have Alchemist, well, in Dota in general, taking towers is good. When you have Alchemist, it's very, very important that you protect your own towers. But if you can, on top of that, which usually is very hard to do, take enemy towers early, you effectively, when you start pushing waves, you buy Alchemist space.
Yeah.
Because the enemy team has to defend further back, and this extra 10 seconds that it takes the wave to cross the river is just more space, more time for Alchemist to analyze the map, to farm as efficient as possible. And this move from Liquid is easily the biggest play of the game so far, and could really set them up for it.
It actually feels like the kill up on top lane didn't help them out. Now the snaking burnt Ravage, it's like, well, you got the confidence just to keep pushing down these tier 1 towers. Where's the pressure to come from Yuar then? Like, he's still working on his Hand of Midas on bottom lane. The tier 1 tower on bottom lane is taking almost no damage. And Mind Control's ready with his roar. They'll cut through the trees. The creep wave is following, snaking in there. But a lot of this is already scouted out. Newbee have this line of wards that runs the northern side of the map, so they understood just how much Liquid was bringing to bring down that tier 1 tower.
They're gonna let it go again. So what's the trade-off though? Sven's doing some damage bottom, but
CCNC I think is looking for something in the mid with the Invis rune.
He can't solo kill Alchemist with braces. He has ulti.
So what do? You let a tier 1 tower fall, you go down towards bottom lane. Weeha gonna TP in here, second is on the way. TP already on the way from Yuar. Just get away before Ogre is able to complete his TP in. But he finished up the Midas, added pressure, but the tier 1 tower still remains alive. And they even bring it within deny range if they want to get rid of that money.
Might just leave it standing for now, of course. He wanted to get a creep, but Kuro's fat body is in the way.
You gotta save the resources on the map. This is
Viper Veil.
This is what we were wondering about, right? Like how the Alchemist functions. Like you got that push, you got your timing right. He is now number 1 on the net worth. 5.5, 5.6k going his way. Sven and Viper battling for the 2nd position. So it's not like that to sacrifice too much. And a great Thunder, like the Thunder God's Wrath comes out. So CCNC and Pilot Eye were trying to go for something up on the top, but they're not finding it. Maybe it's time for GA should look for these Observer wards too. Trapped in the trees, Ice Blast. He's actually gonna roar out. Maybe they get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition, but nah.
You know, from me, dog. But yeah, it was a good Thunder God's Wrath though. He scouted out the smoke. I just think Mind Control had no escape route. It was kind of cornered there. I don't know if a possible TP could have worked. Maybe he had cooldown. But yeah, at the very least, Newbee results in this kill. But again, are you taking any tower damage? You haven't limited Alchemist's space. Apart from the laning stage where they did a good job aggroing him, Miracle's been having a pretty good time.
They see CCNC wrapping around the back. Underneath the Irradiant Observer Ward, GH has nowhere to go. Another time up on top, but then again a triple TP. Now the other two going to complete. Kuro does. Mind Control will arrive as well.
That is very low value.
Because the 3 TPs happen, they realize that Miracle has no other support up on top lane, so Yuar waits as long as he possibly can for the Stormbolt to fly out. Now you're searing chains, and if you need to, the Ravage will pop, and it feels like Snaking needs to. Very liberal with the use. But they get the kill on Miracle and bring him down.
Absolutely ravage that. No regrets for sure on them. And yeah, like you said, this is what happens when you use three TPs like this and the enemy team acknowledges it. Miracle has to go back. He should never have stayed this far up in the mid lane, and that's just flat out a mistake. No backup available. Newbee makes a quick move on him, identifying the situation very nicely. And that's big. They got 2 core kills in a row, and now they're getting that mid tower damage.
And
Viper will rotate in.
You know, this is game 1 of day 1 of TI, but this is, of course, TI. There isn't really a period of time where you say, like, hey, I'm going to just wake myself up over a little bit of time. Like, it'll take me 1 day before we're ready to fight as a team. Like, everything has to be crisp and clean already, and at the moment, it feels like Newbee just dropped themselves into a really comfortable position. They're simple to execute, they follow through. And the only ticking time bomb is the Alchemist.
Yeah, if they are able to overpower the Alch, that's another thing, right? When you pick this AA last and you have this insurance against the Alchemist region in the mid game, even if Miracle gets farmed, they will, until he has a BKB, they should be able to just lock him down with chain stuns and AA ulti. Liquid's lineup has no save, which is a classic component you sometimes run with Alchemist, like an Oracle, or, you know, another defensive support, like maybe even an Omni Knight offlane or something like this to keep the Alchemist safe. Since that's not available, this only 1k gold lead is a bit misleading, because first of all, you're ahead on gold against Alchemist minute 14. Good, very good. And secondly, it's about how strong is Alchemist's net worth actually in this game. He should need quite a bit more.
Well, he's going Radiance and the AC. And if you're going to get to the BKB, that's a lot longer.
Yep.
And they're not controlling the bounty runes either. Another critical thing with an Alchemist. 15-minute bounty runes are coming up in a second. MSS will claim both of the bottoms. And Newbee are positioning to actually fight on top. If Liquid want to contest them, they'll take it.
Liquid's on. They don't want any of this.
Dire's top tower.
But it at least allows Miracle to finish up the Radiance is coming on the Courier at the moment.
Yep.
So their team fight's getting a little bit better.
It's just, there seems to be a very clear plan from Newbee's lineup on how they deal with this guy, right? If he walks into a fight, if a fight begins, you're going to chain stun him and blow him up, especially a hero like Sven actually eat quickly with this Echo Saber he has, so gotta be careful. And Liquid's lineup just is slow. They did a great job getting those first 2 towers, but now the heroes are not very mobile. Alchemist and Viper both have to walk around. It takes a long time. Beastmaster has some sort of play capabilities, but he kind of only really plays with Zeus in this game currently. So their lineup clearly has some limitations.
Yeah, they're just trying to scout out. The vision on the map is very defensive for Team Liquid, so they don't really see that much. Like observer sentries planted over the bottom bounties.
Regeneration.
So it's not what they're looking for. And now Newbee, they're gonna TP and snaking. Kuro already slowed down. Leap forward from MSS. Kuro tries to go for a revenge dump, but the Ice Blast already connects as well. Viper wants some revenge, but the arrow?
Oh, good arrow.
Long stun, and this buy snaking enough space to get back.
He still did 1,000 damage, tied. Just ulti, Nether Toxin, and 1 poison attack, 1k damage. Gotta be careful. I love this from Snaking. I was thinking you probably go 4-staff in this game because of that. And he has it queued up. We'll see if he buys it before the hood. I really like 4-staff for a couple of reasons. First of all, the Nether Toxin for his own sake. It's great to counter that. But also, when you look at Liquid's lineup, how do they start fights? They either Viper Strike or they roar.
Yeah.
And if the hero that they go on has turned around, Snaky can actually just save any core in his lineup by just forcing them away and then re-engaging himself with the Blink Dagger that he has.
Mind Control's got to get this roar off, but no. Weeha and Kuro, they were both there ready to fight for CC&C. Second he finishes his Sleight of Fist, just Remnants back.
Good read.
Deeper into the jungle.
Not overstaying there.
Man, it just feels like Newbee's getting everything they need. Like Snaking's got the initiation with the Blink Dagger, as you said, with the 4-staff and everything else. But then you're also getting the lane presence. MSS is building in for a straight-up Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
And we got to remember, like they're basically running 4 core at this point. They're always able to push out the lanes, because you'll always clean out the lanes once you got the Aghanim Scepter up. Ember can do the same type of thing. And Zven's clearance is great too.
Shadow.
Try and break the Ember Spirit, Moonlight Shadow defense, and Team Liquid, no detection on the front lines.
Mirana definitely has this ability when the laning stage goes well, her just innate ability to push waves with Starstorm and then farm up and get this Axe puts so much pressure on the Alchemist team to constantly have to go and defend. Yeah, again.
They needed the roar. Once again, they need the roar from Mind Control to begin. Just as you were saying, like, what is your initiation? Ogre raises his fists and CCNC just spirits away.
If you're paying good attention on Ember, the only way you really die in this game is getting roared from off. There's no other play until maybe Mind Control gets a Blink Dagger and surprises you from an angle you're not watching, or something like this, because, yeah, there's no instant stun. Alchemist Concoction has to fly, Ogre has to wind up his arms, he doesn't have a lens, so he can't stun you from trees in most places on the map, and yep, that roar can't connect right now. So CCNC is playing very nicely on the limit here.
Does that actually mean like CCNC can go more aggressive style items? Like he doesn't have to get a Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't feel like he needs to block anything?
I would like to see him go BKB, I think.
Okay.
So what we're seeing here is he's gone the Flame Guard Absorption. And from what I've heard, this build with Flame Guard Absorption into Flame Guard DPS is becoming really popular because it basically doubles the DPS of Flame Guard from 60 to 120. That's the same as 2 Radiances. And then if you BKB, the Flame Guard can't get broken. So you're just running into the fight, you deal super high amounts of damage, and you're very difficult to focus down because every time people go on you, you're just going to use your Silent Fist, Yawar, be fine.
Smart and easy TP out.
Maybe you have to buy Atos on. Perhaps that would have been a good choice this game over this Veil, just so they have this extra catch that can surprise the Ember or can catch this Sven from TPing away.
It's still going to be projectile though, right? So
but it's fast.
Yeah.
It's fast. And again, when you have the range that Atos has, it makes catching Ember a lot easier because there's angles, you have options that Ogre and Beastmaster just don't have because of their lower reach.
Miracles.
Sure, if you cast it from the front on the Ember, he's going to react. But if he's not watching the angle you come from, or if you are, you know, coming out of smoke or out of fog, it's a lot harder.
I'm loving this. I saw Weeha actually line up the BTs before. He's using the Beastmaster Hawk to get to the front lines, trying to wrap around the side. The Aurora's out over on CCNC. Snaking will create enough space with the Ravage, and now Beastmaster, he will fall. Weeha's caught on the wrong side of the tracks, had a lot of help. It's on the way, but the Ice Blast will connect first. Pilot Eye will end up dropping to the attacks from down the low ground. Miracle once more with a Moonlight Shadow. They run away. Newbee was trying to contest these bounding runes once again.
I think that's pretty even, I suppose. It's 1 for 1, but Ravage was used, so you kill it for
CCNC's back in. He's not done just yet. The concoction's ready for Miracle, and they've actually got the control. Arrow flies forward. Everyone will dodge that one. No, they won't. Kura catches in the back lines, so he's trapped where he is. Miracle will fall, and you shouldn't have said anything, Synderen. Even not anymore. This is going to be Weeha trying to battle for the last, but MSS had to leap and TP out. It will not be successful.
Even I like it.
That is not the way Liquid wanted to have that fight continue.
There's one guy who's happy about this, though, and that's GH. He got a solo kill on Tide toward the end of that. So 600 gold. I think he got about a full level, and now has this Aether Lens as well as almost a Force Staff completed. So big scaling possibilities coming in, but this Alchemist kill very big. The BKB reveal. And again, problem for Liquid, right? You don't have that save. So if your Alchemist gets jumped by the Sven, he has to run away. Sven is just the bigger boy right now.
I'm loving this from Pilot Eye. Just puts down the Vortex, sees Kuro, hits him with the Ice Blast. It's the cold feet to trigger, but there's no need for CCNC to get any more aggressive. GH is doing too much damage, and he's already starting to back up. And Team Liquid must have really wanted that fight too. Like the AC being done with the Radiance, like Miracle was ready to get in there. And now they smoke up themselves and they look towards Roshan.
I like this play. No Ravage. You have the Beastmaster Aura, you have the Kiras, you have Bloodlust. This is an easy kill. Holy, okay, that's a bit faster than I thought it would be. They have Medallion.
Even with Ice Blast down because it was used in the mid, like they can't even scout it out.
They give the Aegis to Miracle. Alchemist is one of those heroes that Aegis is a little bit weird because sometimes it's really good and other times it feels almost useless. Obviously, being a transformation-based ulti hero, one of your lives is bound to be without that chemical rage. Depending on the timing in the fight, it can be. But who else would you give it to? You don't want to give it to your Viper. He's not going to get targeted.
Giving it to Zeus to pop off everything he's got and come back again.
And then die instantly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know about that one. Yeah, there's no better Aegis carry in this game. And
protect the money.
Usually in Alchemist games, you will give it to Alch, because around the time you kill Roche is when Alchemist wants to go high ground. That just doesn't seem like a possibility in this game right now. I don't think Liquid get a chance to...
Look at him come to fight though. Ice Blast is flying forward from Pylai Die. It's just hitting the back line, so GH is already going to go down to CC and C. But it was watching Miracle's presence. Where does the stuns come? I get to miss every single kill on this camera.
Kuro kind of
like
just got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
This tower is gone.
It's just like left behind for everyone else. CCNC gets the Searing Chains off over on Viper. Snaky's moving in with a gush. Viper really slowed down. There's Yua with a stun and the damage output. No Bracer will protect you from that. And he's already, I mean, yeah, he's back. Miracle gets the BKB. They need to wait a little longer before that ready to fight this, and Newbee saw the window. Ravage was up. They wanted to get in there.
I don't know. I'm not really feeling this Viper build in this game. I'm not completely sure what. Like maybe this is a good build in a lot of games on Weeha's Viper. I just don't think it solves the problems that Viper innately has in this game. He doesn't have any armor against the Sven and you know, the slight spam from Ember. He's going for Kaya Sanj, so he gets some status resistance against the stuns, which is nice, but the problem is he's kind of just dying to like 3 hits from Sven right now. So I think you have to either go back for a Ghost Scepter or try to get yourself some armor or BKB. The Boots of Travel they've given them 1 or 2 opportunities to take fights, and obviously gives the hero some much needed mobility. But overall, I haven't felt it this game. I'm sure we're going to see more Weeha Viper this tournament, or you never know. Maybe it's the only time they'll play it. But if we do, I would like to see this build be really successful so that we can understand why it is so good. It hasn't really.
I'm also just trying to understand like Team Liquid's mindset coming into the drafting phase. Like we saw the way they picked up very early on. Like you had the Beastmaster and Zeus as your opener, and then you went into this Alchemist. Like you're willingly still doing this. This was still your intent. It wasn't because you're forced into it by Newbee with the way they were drafting. So they still had a good plan behind this, a good thought process at least. And that's where like I still keep my eyes on Miracle. Like what is he trying to achieve during this game? You're building out like BKB up, Pistol Blade next. Thundergod's Wrath from GH does reveal the fact that CCNC was wrapping around the back. Newbee will grab 3 of the bounty runes out of the 4 once again.
Morana's getting farmed.
Yeah.
Getting real farmed. He's overtaken the enemy position 3 now. We were saying GH was getting rich from that kill on Tide, but he's still a full 3,500 gold behind the Morana on the enemy team. And the only reason this gold graph looks fairly even is that there's an Alchemist.
Yeah.
And Alchemist lineups being behind at this time, especially the experience, is insane. 20,000 XP.
Yeah.
You're this far behind, like you're not. This game is not even right now. Liquid have to try to find a team fight where
they're looking for
they really get to use this Aegis and playing around Miracle.
The roar from My Control has hit perfectly here. CCNC is just farming the wave. They're trying to make the most of nighttime, but he just spirits straight over the top of everyone. CCNC is like he's playing this game perfectly. Pushes out just far enough and never too far. There ain't no 50-50 toss up.
Maybe you need Shadow Blade on these. So that's a reliable way of catching the Ember, but he's going for this BKB build so that they feel like they can take team fights. And that's, you know, you got to choose your path on Beast. If you go the Shadow Blade, your team fighting is a lot weaker, but your catch is better. And if you go this BKB, fight around Alchemist timing. Because I think Liquid feel like this game cannot go on like this for another 15-20 minutes. Like the Alchemist will fall off eventually. He has some good Ags friends, I suppose, but
they still need to, like, they're going to get out pushed, right?
Really want to.
Like the Morana can push in the bottom lane all by herself without any kind of major risk because it's still a 4 position. Yeah. There's doing that. So if you have your BKB, then you at least have something that allows you to force an issue, like push up high ground and take something quick.
And they have the super low commitment split push of Emperor. And the waves are just constantly being pushed in, so they don't get to use their Aegis. That's
Weeha, there's your Stormbolt forward. Yua's got all the damage, and the long-range arrow from MSS connects perfectly. Weeha will fall.
Blast.
Yeah, it won't hit anybody. But it was kind of thinking it should be done. Miracle, caught in no man's land, underneath his own Observer Ward, thanks to the Thundergod's Wrath. At least he kills off the Observer Ward, moves over towards the Ember Spirit with the BKB. He doesn't have much to work with. Yua's already moved back over. He's got so much damage output. 5 heroes ready to chase around the back, but then the buyback in from Weeha, and they think twice about it.
So again, it's a big win for Newbee. They killed Weeha, forced a buyback, and it cost them nothing. Alchemist had to BKB. That's a really big BKB charge.
His net worth is just plummeting with this. Like, he's actually almost below 4 heroes of Newbee.
Yeah. Weeha's game is... Yeah, now he's buying armor. Right, there comes the Shiva buildup. Again, I mentioned it before. I think this Kaya Sanj has its place maybe in some Viper games. To me, this is not one of them. And this has really slowed down his item progression. I would have loved to see at least the plate mail on the way. to get this armor that he so needs. Like, you saw him getting blown up by this Sven. There was a bit of an arrow in from Mirana, but the rest was just the Sven with his Bloodthorn just wailing at him.
Oh, here they go again. Instantly into the break.
Here.
Here comes your Ice Blast forward. No. Yeah, he's dead.
That's bad.
Over a minute and a half on the sidelines. Yuar did burn the BKB for this.
He bought back, and he's playing up far in a very dangerous lane with no teammates close by to save him. Not Weeha's. This is not Weeha. It just hasn't been Weeha's game so far. And you have to turn to Lyrical to be able to carry this game and play around him as a team, but the problem that you're facing is every time you want to group up, these waves are pushing in, so Weeha feels forced to, you know what, I gotta push this extra wave, I gotta go that little bit further and take the risk so that we can make our own play, and this time it just gets punished way too hard.
No, he's at least got the Abyssal Blade up and running, gonna go for a Blink Dagger as his next item.
Yeah.
And Newbee still, they're not threatening up in high grounds. Like,
gives him kill potential,
there's been some chip damage on bottom. Yes, that instant stun you're looking for, right?
Finally catch Ember. With your Alchemist Blink Abyssal, you get the catch you wanted. Yeah.
That doesn't really feel like what you really wanted, though. CCNC's pushing the tier 2 tower in mid, Snaking sitting behind. Pipe, Blink Dagger, and Ravage is more than enough confidence for CCNC to do what he's doing.
And with his Octarine core, all of that health, as well as, you know, the spell lifesteal coming in will keep him alive.
All right, Miracle.
Thought he was going to go the BKB route like we talked about, but he's for the Octarine.
Starting a concoction. He's lost vision. He's going to end up stunning himself over in the trees.
They don't know, though.
No.
Newbee don't know. That would have been an arrow. Perhaps. Wait, where is Mirana?
They're really chasing down CCNC. Are they like, well, this guy must not have a remnant down? Even TP Arm from Mind Control went to the tier 3 tower, but he's not going to do that without a remnant.
And now it's bounty time again. Liquid will... Maybe it's a 1-for-3 trade-off once again.
Yeah.
Alchemist seems like he kind of wants to go, but he has no Chemical Rage ready. So he's actually weak right now for this fight. He might try it anyway.
Well, Stein's already been used under GodZ Wrath. Mind Control's in a very, very bad position. Yuar jumps in. He'll get the roar off, but Mind Control runs away, but not fast enough. CCNC is the last physical bit of damage to attack through that BKB of Mind Control, and they're going underneath the tower. They really want to keep this push going with the Ravage clipping over on 3 with a Bloodthorn being used. Viper's down again. Weeha is a non-factor this game, and CCNC, he's everything. To the front line, a double kill for Yuar. GH will die in the tree lines. It leaves the last man standing, Miracle, still trying to farm up his Blink Dagger on the bottom lane. But Newbee can just go for Roshan. Just play it safe and get this first win against Team Liquid to start off their Ti9 campaign.
What a great start to the day that would be for them. You know, these groups, there's so much to play for in the group. Step number 1, don't get last in the group. Then you're already at the main event, and getting to the main event is worth...
Again, the Bloodthorn's already out. Alchemist, he got Abyssal Blades, at least he's able to miss out on the arrow. Concoction beginning again, he's starting to stun over on MSS. Mind Control, he'll arrive, what can he do? There's no roar available, he can just give him the medallion, try and get Miracle back into relative safety. With the regeneration, it's still not going to be enough. And the Ice Blast, well, it won't hit Mind Control. That's the one upside from Team Liquid, as Newbee will retreat back out of the base.
But yeah, as I was getting at with the group format and the way things work, obviously we have 18 teams here this year once again, and the bottom team from each group is eliminated before the main event. So you want to not get that last place placement, so you get into the main event, and also already getting just not last in group this year is worth about $500,000 is the prize for 13 through 16. So
yeah, it was last position's 80,000, I believe, at the moment.
So getting to that main event is huge, and obviously every game is going to matter. I'm not saying this as my expectation was Newbee won't make it out of groups. Don't interpret it that way. It's just like step number 1 is get off to a good start group, so you've got that playoff, and then obviously if you have a good start against Liquid, you get a 1-game win, maybe a 2-0. Your chances of getting to that top 4 in your group and getting to the upper bracket gets massively increased. Liquid clearly one of the stronger teams to come out from the European region this year. It looks like Newbee need to mess up gravely, or that Liquid has to find the fight of their dreams with kind of this Miracle Blink Dagger is the key. They have to start a good fight with this, or it's just not happening. But Ember hasn't ages now. How do you initiate this fight? You don't go on the Ember.
Yeah.
If you try to kill Ember twice, the fight's lost.
You actually kind of have to kill Yuar, right? Like, you need to stop that Bloodthorn from having an effect. It's like, and not to mention all the damage that comes along with it, but it's...
Do you have the damage, though? Kill this Sven. You need to jump him when he doesn't have God Strength on, when Tide is not nearby to pipe and blink Ravage.
Yeah. Or can you kite
And you need 5 heroes, I think.
Can you
That's the way
kite
to
out
do
the BKB times and then go for your own initiation? Like, is that the other approach to do this? Now
I'm looking at the kiting potential of both teams, and I feel like the kiting potential is on the Dire Toby. There's no kiting on the Radiant.
You've got Glimmer Cape on Kuro. I'm like literally checking items. Like this is all there really is. Like you can blink yourself away. Anyone got a 4-staff? Well, you got 1 on GH.
I mean, it's technically possible, but if there is 1 dust or a gem in the middle of the fight from the Dire team, from Newbee, you're just...
Not Weehar
you're
again.
gonna die.
Not Weehar again. Moonlight Shadow. CCNC just walks up. The Ice Blast is coming in. Weehar is totally dead. But then again, the initiation is the back lines. They find the Tidehunter, and have they got enough control? He's still got Ravage available. He doesn't want to use it because the BKB is up. The Raw snaking. He would burn the cheese. He's got his life back again, and then Raider Ravage with the stuns and the arrows to connect. Goodbye, Ogre. Goodbye, Alchemist. In just a second, if they can see him out, and they will be able to. Mind Control's trying to retreat back out, but you know the primary target is Miracle. He blinks. He's actually going to TP himself away. So they burned the Aegis to the Immortal, and now Viper, he's in a little deep, but they're still going up further north. They're looking for snaking. This battle is just splitting up every 2 different ways. The BKBs have been burnt. Weehar is finally going to go down. He'll bring MSS down with him, thanks to Viper Strike tick damage, but it's Alchemist. He doesn't have his Chemical Rage available. They have to force up and back underneath the Tier 1 tower. Even with the bind back from GH, now he may end up going down underneath his own Tier 1 tower too. So many heroes dead for so long, and Yawar, he wants more. He wants Miracle. The Chemical Rage is finally back off cooldown. So Miracle and Mind Control can retreat back to safety. Yawar, he's looking for the fight, and so is Miracle. Here's your first stun. The follow-up, Abyssal Blaze available, and they actually do bring it down Yawar. Over 1,000 gold for the kill, and Miracle shows he's got some teeth.
That was a good fight from Newbee until that move from Yawar. I'm not sure what was going through his mind there. He's completely alone running in, hoping to get a Blink Dagger initiation, but he didn't have Blink Dagger ready. And it's just Alchemist jumping on him with the vision, getting a quick kill, and important for Miracle. That's an 1,100 gold kill that he just got out of that.
And look at him run. They're instantly trying to make a play to get in and get the bounty runes.
CCNC is ready though.
Yeah, he is.
Right time.
And Snaking will get both the bottom runes.
Yeah, I kind of like how Newbee played that fight. I don't... Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
That's a dead AA.
Yeah, it is. Mind Control's going to BKB because he just doesn't care.
The initiation...
Pilot High's worth 481 gold.
The initiation of going on the Viper when they did, either you really commit for that guy, or they were trying to bait a fight, right? They jumped on the Viper with the Aegis of CCNC, they forced Liquid to respond with their BKBs, then they kited them. Yep, nope, not happening. Then they kited the BKBs like we talked about, the kiting potential of Newbee probably better, and then they re-engaged and got a really good fight out of it in the end until the Sven death. They forced a Zeus dieback, they killed, I believe, Beastmaster and Ogre died.
Yes.
Alchemist barely got out, and Viper died too. So the fight was good from Newbee until that point, and if Sven doesn't overextend, they should have been very happy with that. Even though they did use Aegis Cheese for it.
Yeah.
It's still, you know, you just want to stay ahead against this Alchemist.
It's just crazy to think it still felt like Newbee was in a hell of a lot of control. Like they were sitting at 40,000 experience advantage, and they haven't even brought down the tier 3 tower. In fact, the tickle they did in the tier 3 tower down on bottom lane was about 10-15 minutes ago.
Yep.
And this is going to be getting more and more problematic. Miracle's up to 5.4k in the gold. What does he go next? Does he start arming everyone with Aghanim Scepters? Do you actually start to increase this net worth now of Team Liquid? Or do you still make yourself a Battle Hunger Boy? Like, do you get that Moonshot up and running?
You might go for an Axe for the damage problems. Nope, Moonshot first.
Moonshot first.
So, let's see. Obviously, when we're talking about the experience, we should point out that there are 3 heroes on Newbee that have peaked now. They won't get experience anymore, so the XP graph is going to start dipping. Both Ember, Tide, and Sven are level 25. Liquid's highest hero for comparison is Miracle with almost level 23. So not only, like, experience can be a bit weird to look at as a metric in the game because sometimes it matters a lot and sometimes it doesn't matter so much. What really matters is these level thresholds. Having 3 level 25 talents is massive to the 0 of Liquid, and that's where the XP lead really matters right now is, can you put these talents to use? Tide plus 250 damage. Anchor Smash hurts real bad with that Solar Crest that he has. The Sven with the God Strength talent, and Ember, of course, with those charge remnants or lower respawn recharge time. And now the Aghanim's coming up with that talent makes him so much stronger.
They're looking to fight.
Yep.
Team Liquid have been actually running around in circles for the last 20 seconds, looking for a good time to smoke. And looks like Newbee is already ready for it. keep your eye on Roshan. He may respawn in just over 2 minutes, so they've still got more time. CCNC, all right, the bait is there. Abyssal Blade to start this time around with a follow-up concoction. CCNC, they're gonna bring him down. Buyback is available. And maybe they have enough slow, but here comes Yuan, the double stomp with the ice blast. Everyone's in way too deep. They're all pushing him back, but CCNC's buyback is there. Weeha stands not a single chance to survive. And they're jumping around, but Newbee, they don't find a target. Alchemist has already run himself away.
Crucial force staff from GH. He saved Miracle completely there. Getting caught out like that with the ice blast on top.
Oh, mind control. Get away.
And that's big. That's big for Liquid. Sure, you lose your Viper, but man, that was expensive for Newbee. They used the Ember Spirit buyback. And you just gotta wonder how CCNC got jumped like this. I feel like Tide was in range to help with a Blink Pipe or Blink Ravage. I don't know if he got cancelled by a Zeus ulti. Perhaps that's what happened, and Snay wasn't able to help his teammate out there.
I actually thought Yawa was going to be in there faster. He's got the Lincoln Sphere, like putting that on the Ember Spirit. If you're going to use CCNC as such obvious bait, it would make more sense.
Or maybe... Yeah, I don't know. It must have been... Maybe they were trying to bait this fight, and they were like, come on, guys, go on the Ember. He has buyback. He has a Remnant out. If you start this fight, we're going to come in with our Tide Ravage, and we'll kill your Alchemist, which looked great for a moment there. But once again, that Force Staff, and I think he even got glimmered as well by Kuro, perhaps, just got him out of trouble. And now this game got a lot more interesting because...
It got so much closer.
The thing we needed from Liquid in this game, with one good team fight around Miracle catching this Ember, just happened.
Miracle's on a hunt. Again. I like how he's got the Radiance off. So there's no visibility that he's here, so he wants to try and get this quick pick onto MSS. Concoction blink forward. Now that MSS has blinked in, he's going to run into the trees. Oh, no Miracle! Okay, they're both there. Oh, okay. I thought I wanted a battle. No, I need to come and smoke.
Yep. Get ready for the bounties. Big moment in the game, 40 minutes in. This is when we start getting 2 power runes. So both sides of the river will now have active runes, and generally the team that has map control, the team that has mind control sometimes also has an advantage at this point. Liquid kind of doesn't in this game currently, but having map control at this point is really, really useful for those for that extra rune. And so far in this game, it's mainly been Newbee being on the other side of the river. So if they can keep this control of the map and start finding maybe a DD plus illusion or DD haste, or
especially leading up to Roshan in 34 seconds, then it's all...
Invis rune could be a game-winning rune here on the Tide Hunter, coming out of nowhere with the Ravage. There's plenty of things. That is one thing that Beastmaster's Hawk cannot deal with. It does not have True Sight. So even if you have that Blink Dagger, you can kind of counter it with the Beastmaster Hawk. You see him coming, but with an Invis rune, you don't have time to react, so...
I was going to watch around Roshan now. We're hitting that time. If Lico can move up and get rid of that Observer Ward, then Newbee will be fairly blind.
MSS is so rich.
Yeah.
I still can't get over. He has a BKB now if he wants.
He's just been sitting on bottom lane, just like farming it up. Like as long as he adds the pressure, like Liquid have to move from Roshan. They come off the northern side, and these BKB timings of theirs just didn't really count for anything apart from waiting for Newbee to make one small mistake in a fight.
One position 4 has 220 CS. The other position 4 has 80.
You know, this is just when you actually know where's my fantasy points. That's what you're looking for. Mr. 17.3. If you have Kuro, he's looking pretty damn good.
20 for C2.
Yep. Miracle is a little bit behind what he normally is, but he's still sitting at 14.1, so that's not too shabby. Buys the first Aghanim Scepter coming out in the Courier.
Let's see who gets this one.
He's moving towards the GH. Yeah, it's GH. Okay. Nimbus is up.
Obviously, some good teammates, right? You can give an Axe to Ogre Magi to get that Refined Fire Blast, really strong. The Beastmaster Axe can be useful in the right situations. The Viper one can also be really good.
How fast they do this. The Ember Spirit's already in. CCNC's going to jump in. Questline of Fist Steering Chains. Snaking, still looking for his right target to go for his own jump in, but Kuro, the Ravage is out. Ice Blast on the way into Roshan, who's going to claim it? Miracle gets the Aegis, the Immortal. Yuwa, he's moved in. There's still cheese on the deck for the moment. Mind Control will grab it. It's Yuwa. The Roar comes out. CCNC, the side of 50 actually dodges the pushback from the Roar, but they burnt the Aegis, the Immortal. Remember, it's on an Alchemist who doesn't have Chemical Rage available. Kuro, not much more to give. He goes back inside the pit. He can throw out an Ignite, but you've already lost 2 heroes. Going to make it 3. A CCNC making the most of this Aghanim Scepter. Jumps forward. Looks for the kill over on Beastmaster. The backlines can do its own thing as well as Mind Control does go down with Kuro. Viper underneath the Shrine. He'll trigger it up. A triple buyback out from Liquid. My God, do they need something to make this work? There's Miracle! He stuns himself! He tried to actually just concoct TP out. Doesn't work. The Nimbus is barely off target.
Oh man, he wanted to concoct TP in, but it's a long TP because we have ported before. So it takes those 5 seconds, and with the 5.5 second charge up, he doesn't have time to throw the concoction. That is the right play though from Liquid to buy back there with 3 heroes, because Weehaw would have died back under his own shrine, and that would have cost you probably 1 or not, if not 2 lanes of barracks to lose the Viper there. So I like the idea that they did this. They just got no kills out of it. And Newbee did get out. Of course, Aegis did go to Miracle, so there's no Aegis on the field for Newbee in this instance. And the cheese, I think,
It's in mind control.
It's in mind control? Was that the...
Was it Refresher or an Aghanim Scepter? Because it all happened so fast, I didn't actually see the drop. But I'm not seeing anybody holding like a Refresher shard.
There is an Ags on Viper, so that, I think, was the drop.
That would make sense.
Alk has not given away 2, right? He's only given away the one to Zeus.
Yes.
So I think this was a drop on the ground. Okay, so Liquid got all 3 items out of the Roche. And sure, you lose that 5. That's also why the net worth looks the way it does, because the game considers this Aghanim shard, it considers it worth 4,200 gold.
Yeah.
And that's why Weehaw's net worth suddenly took this like huge leap up, even though he died and bought back.
Yeah, now he's saying he's got more than MSS, which doesn't really feel like he does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, but yeah, Aghanim's Blessing is a good item.
Oh, this game is just going so long though, because it feels like no team, even when you win the fight, it doesn't feel like you can then just follow up with a big objective. Like, Roshan also keeps going to the team that doesn't have the momentum.
Yeah.
It keeps going the way of Liquid.
Oh, multi-shot arrow talent for
Okay.
MSS.
No Moonlight Shadow cooldown, huh? I thought that playing the Vision game against Liquid was going to be a good way to go. But I guess not. They're
Well,
going to try and...
Multi-shot arrow is also a Vision talent.
That it is. All 5 buybacks from Team Liquid currently on cooldown, and all for over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes in total. So Liquid are in full defense now.
And there's 3 buybacks on the other side. Newbee have Sven, Morana, as well as AA. Embers is on cooldown for another 1 minute only. So they have this massive power play now where they just have lives to throw. If they can throw bodies at Liquid, and if they win the fight, it's the game.
Look how fast they go. Newbee get revealed by the Thunder God's Wrath, and they TP everyone down to the bottom lane. It's like, okay, they know we're on the north, let's go towards the south. We've already pushed in 1 wave. And Weehaw kind of is in no man's land behind the tower. Kuro's coming out for an observer warning mission, but Yoa, they finally found the target they wanted. Team Liquid thought the south was clear. They were definitely wrong. Kuro down for 50 seconds.
That's the best hero Liquid could have died, though. He will be alive in time to defend the base. 50 seconds.
How do you actually
Most likely.
push up into like Acid Spray and Nether Toxin and
Zeus
all,
Bolts.
like Zeus Bolt, Nimbus, and
It's hard. I think what you try to do here is one of 2 things. Either you choke out the map, you just ward aggressively, you keep Liquid in their base. They probably are out of smokes now after these last couple of fights, and you just keep controlling and farming. The other one is you flat out just go for a surprise jump. You get a ward in the enemy base, and you jump and ravage and try to kill the back line. You know they have 0 buybacks. You know this. So if you catch even a hero like Zeus, blowing up Zeus is really good value right now. To be able to continue pushing. But it looks like the map control play is what Newbee are leaning toward right now.
yeah, CCNC's got the bottom.
it's fine.
Yoa can jump around. They already got a little bit of extra chip damage, so it's down to half life on the bottom tier 3.
Liquid are very cornered right now. It's find any opening on them. You're already playing with these low mobility heroes. You've used up your smokes, and the enemy team just has lives on you. They have buybacks. You don't. It's tricky.
But
you
does
kind of have to
Newbee-
play defense.
Doesn't
there's
Newbee
no
still
player.
need to force it though? Like you're 3 minutes in, you've got buybacks as your advantage. You know that Team Liquid don't have that second life.
You could technically hope for an early Roche, and then you will have Aegis, Cheese, Refresher, or Ags, or whatever, or all, before Liquid are able to get their buybacks back online. How long is it? 3.5? Okay, that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty unlikely.
It's such a long time, but they're at least ripping through the creep waves. Arrow flies forward, it's a little too short. Now Miracle jumps in looking for their own target, trying to bring down Sven. They're able to do so, dead for 100 seconds, and they want an extra chase. The Roar over an Ancient Apparition, looking for the supports. The arrows tanked up by the BKBs. Now the double buybacks will arrive. Team Liquid just want to get back into their home, back into their base, but they just can't do it. The Ravage from Snaking clipped them all. 2 minutes down for such a long time on Miracle. Let all the stuns go you want, but without the buybacks, without the lives, this is what Newbee wanted. A small opportunity to just try and take the rest of this base. A triple kill for CC&C. He wants the Ultra. He's looking towards Weehar, and he'll claim him. The arrow flies forward. MSS will steal it, but that is GG. Newbee, they will be patient and take game 1 here in this 2-game series against Team Liquid.
That's a nice game to start us off. I like it.
Yeah.
Good. A couple of things to talk about, obviously, in this game. The Alchemist pick, as we said, after Zeus and Beastmaster, we found a little bit odd.
Yeah.
The Viper item build, perhaps for Liquid, wasn't the way to go this game. But I love the way Newbee approached the game too. This Mirana got super strong, the way they put their lanes, and the way they took fights with buybacks, right? They have this like bad engage in a way with the Sven dying, and they're like, we have lives, we're gonna come back in, we're gonna take this fight. Similar situation earlier with another buyback fight that they won, and they played a great game.
Yeah, man, I just like seeing this from Newbee, seeing CC&C being what he wants to be, and seeing Newbee understand like you can actually run 4 cores against this and not feel like that's greedy against an Alchemist, because doesn't that normally happen? Like, it's like an Alchemist, let's not play slow. Let's play fast, let's be aggressive. And Newbee were like, no, we can actually play nice and slow, nice and tempered, and wait for our right opportunity. So, good start for Newbee. Game 2 coming up in just a bit. Slow, nice and tempered, and wait for our right opportunities. So, good start for Newbee. Game 2 coming up in just a bit.
Team Liquid's turn to ban. Newbee's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to pick. Newbee's turn to pick.
Elder Titan.
Newbee's turn to pick. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Gyrocopter!
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Axe.
Newbee's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to ban.
It's like that seemed to be the level of some of the Dota epicenter. But this is
to
TI.
ban.
Like everyone's 100% focused, bringing their A game. But it feels like Liquid didn't really have that. They had something interesting at the start of their draft. In the last game, and we're going to start off with something interesting as well, which is GH's ET.
It did feel like the draft kind of pulled in two different directions. They opened with Beast Zeus, and then they fell back for that Alchemist. So this time around, it looks to be maybe a first phase that is more in sync with it. Oh well, we'll see the whole draft, right? Because I think Beast Zeus is it is an interesting and different opener, but they have inherent synergy in how they play together. They just didn't build around it that well. We'll see how they do this time with the first pick, Elder Titan. And Newbee respond with IO Gyro, and there is Axe. So they'll get a hero that can jump and call with Blade Mail probably onto this Gyrocopter and try to kill it together with that IO.
This is just like this draft screen is not big enough for the two of us. Axe just cuts through the Elder. Oh wait, just get out of my way.
Let's hope this is not how Liquid's team atmosphere is right now.
The dis-synergy in the picks. Well, IO and Gyro, perfect synergy.
Elder Titan immediately turns his back on his teammate, who is kind of holding an axe in his face, so it's understandable.
Why is ET like at a night? Like he's like, okay, guys, we're doing profile shots today.
Yeah, I don't know why he's angled like this. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he should be like facing direct. It's like, you need to check out my ass.
I think this should be at the top of the list for things to get fixed in the next patch. Well,
yeah, it's that cleanup, right?
Yep. It is true, though. He's kind of the only hero that's facing this much to the side, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Like,
we'll see some more heroes later.
Axe has a side turn, but that's because he's like on the bodybuilder turn, so you can see the ripped abs, the muscles on the sides, and then still sees the gorgeous face.
The gorgeous face, yes. Very gorgeous.
Yes.
I guess we have different standards. That's fine, though. No one has not a problem with that sometimes, so kind of like it.
Oh, hey.
So when you're playing IO, you generally want at least one hero that sets up and now they have both Disruption and Duel to enable them to play the map like this. Legion Commander is also an exceptionally strong laner this patch. She has super good move speed. I think she has 333 base move speed, I want to say. Very quick.
10 seconds remaining.
She is a solid offlaner against weak supports, which Crystal Maiden as a 5 is not really the strongest lane support. She has one slow and one root, and you can choose which one you want to purge. Frostbite is very bad against Legion Commander. So, yeah, I kind of like it, and it puts Liquid under this kind of pressure that they need a carry that does well in this lane.
Anti-mage.
Never mind. Don't, apparently.
It's like we just need something that can carry us going into the late game again. Where it's like, okay, we're going to play for that 40-minute, 45-minute power spike and hope you can survive the early part.
Oh, and you don't want to go that late with it. You generally want to win at 30-35. You get a Battle Fury. If you have a great game, you get Battle Fury minute 15. You get the Manta minute 21, 22. You get your next item and maybe one more, and then you want to end the game.
But it still feels like that, you said like maneuverable hero that can play in the safe lane. Spell Shield's still going to cause a lot of problems for Newbee, for the jump in. Like, how do you control the AM if he moves across the map? If he gets Manta style?
Spell Shield is not good against duel. You just reflect it.
Yeah, because it actually doubles it, right?
No, you block and then reflect, right? The way Spell Shield works, it works like Linken's plus Lotus, right? But it works as both. So if you duel an anti-mage with Spell Shield on, he's dueling you, but only one, right? If you're Lotus, it's a double duel. It counts twice. But against the damage, it counts one. But he can't counter duel. Unless I'm being really stupid here, right? Like you would.
Yeah, he would still force himself into the duel. That would make sense.
Yeah. He should get dueled. And he is also playing against Disruption, which this is one of the cooler ones for AM now. In the past, Disruption was really annoying because you would get disrupted and then you mana burn yourself with the illusions, but now you can actually spell shield the Disruption if you see it coming. So that's nice. At least. I feel like this is a pretty high-risk AM pick, though. You're picking it into the Legion Commander we already talked about. Good laner against you, in my opinion, at least a good laner in general. Duel is good. The Shadow Demon goes, the matchup goes both ways, and I at least like this Pango Lear, because now Liquid has like strong team fight, right? They have team fight to play against this IO Gyro. Pango is very good against IO.
This makes for a very interesting laning phase, because you're running 4 melee, obviously range things to work with, but 4 melee that has to come underneath the gyrocopter in range of the IO, and then we still got the last pick in this draft.
This is a mid Pango.
Yeah,
right.
Mid Pango, offlane Axe would be the most like assumption. Like GH is definitely gonna be playing. There's Miracles AM, Weeha's Pango. So what can Newbee then run in the mid lane that they feel better against the Pango?
Oh wait, what if they put Elder Titan? Either tri-laning flat out, or they put Elder Titan with AM and Maiden with Axe, because Titan might have more of a play in the safe lane than Maiden does. They could do that, and still have the Elder Titan be GH position 4, but just swap the lanes around, perhaps. Or maybe they try to dodge, similar to last game where they had this interesting start with tri-lane top to kill, and then swap around, maybe this. I don't know yet. But I feel like if you're Newbee now and you have the right idea, you can exploit this. Like, there's some serious information on the table. Like you said, 4 melee heroes, you know it's a Pango mid. If they swap lanes around to try to solve this, the only heroes they can put mid are Axe or Anti-Mage, and they're also melee. And they have similar weak matchups to the Pango, at least some of them. So I think you're looking for a hero that doesn't enable Liquid to put AM mid, and then you're happy. Taking their time, I guess they're gauging a couple of options. OD.
I was wondering if they do the OD up against the...
Should be a good lane. Cool looking Pango.
Very stylish.
Very fancy. Fancy hero.
It's like it's the old Robin Hood saying, like, Helm Blanche, the feather in my...
Yep.
Meanwhile, the OD is default.
Yeah.
CC&C is...
is it? Is that the normal weapon?
Yeah. Is it? Actually, no. That's that's not the normal weapon. But he doesn't have the wings.
Yeah, he doesn't have the... Yeah. Alright, well...
meanwhile, back at Not Cosmetics...
Once again, I think Newbee have a solid lineup. I think their laning stage looks very good on paper. There's a clear direction in the strategy of how they want to play mid-game. You have these catches. You have OD to catch for relocate. You have LC to catch for relocate. You have Shadow Demon to catch for relocate. And then you're playing around this like strong mid-game timing with BKBs, where both Gyro and OD in this game are largely invincible during BKB. There's so little damage on the way of Liquid. Pango has 1 Swashbuckle. AM is not that good against BKB until very late in the game when you have 5 items.
Yeah.
And Elder Titan and Maiden are pretty much worthless. You have a little bit of damage from Earth Splitter if it connects, but that's it. So
it still feels though like Newbee is just lacking the control if Liquid start beginning to kite. Like you blink away, ET sleep. You've got Pango who can buckle out. You got CM who will sacrifice herself just to get all the stuns down. Like it still feels like Newbee doesn't have. Like, Newbee has the same type of problem that Liquid had in Game 1. It's like, how do we initiate these fights where we actually hold them in position and we actually get the fight?
Well, they have duel.
They definitely have duel, but it feels like there's a lot of pressure on Snaking to make that work.
There is, for sure. I think Snaking needs to have a good game. We line up to work. But once again, similar to last game, Liquid have no save strategy. There's nothing that saves. On the other side, Newbee have arguably 3 saves. They have Relocate, Astral, and Disruption. So if played correctly, we're focusing a lot on how Newbee can take fights, but how about Liquid, right?
Yeah.
You get an Axe call. It's very limited how you can Axe call in this game because there's so many counters to this call, and that's another added benefit of this OD last pick. This hero is really good against Axe. Saving allies, having pure damage, having huge magic damage. Axe was not in the front of the row when they handed out Brains. His int is not very good. So, you know, like OD kind of is very good this game. And we saw Game 1, Newbee are definitely playing good Dota. So this could be another really great game.
I'll hope for it. At the moment, Team Liquid trying to contest for the bounty runes. Spirit's already out as GH will take all the bonus damage, but the poison starting to stack up, soaking up the Rocket Barrage. GH trying to beat into MSS, looking for this kill. The bounty runes have now been put out, but GH, even with 5 stacks of poison, he doesn't care. He gets the first blood, turns around for a little bit more. They burn off so much mana of Yawar. He's forced out of the lane, and Pilot Eye's been spamming nothing but Shadow Poison, so he's also bone dry.
Yep.
And it goes 1-1 as far as the bounty runes go.
There's going to be 3 for Liquid. They got the aggressive one, and that's usually when you have a trade like this in the start where one team gets first blood and there's an immediate counter kill, it's kind of a net 0 just because, you know, the guy who got the kill is worth a lot suddenly because he's the highest net worth in the game, right? And that's what we saw right there. The reward for Yawar compared to GH's first blood kill on MSS is almost identical. So very minor win for Liquid, but like you pointed out, the big win there is the mana. Like draining all of this mana, forcing Newbee to buy these mangoes. MSS brought a couple for Pilot Die. But yeah, that's interesting. And this time around, I don't think the Newbee matchup for Snaking is as good as last time. I think Axe does very well against Legion Commander compared to the Beastmaster against Tide that we saw last game.
He's seeing Mind Control even. Okay, now he'll get the Battle Hunger up. He knows it's just going to be pressed off though. But being in range with the spin, Legion's always going to be copping a lot of damage. And now they go again for Yawar. MSS has the extra health. He's still got the Fairy Fire as well as 2 salves available. He doesn't care if he's up full. This ain't the old IO anymore. And trying to keep tabs on the mid lane as well as the top lane as well. The OD spending a lot of time very close towards that tier 1 tower, trying to stay in Weeha's face.
Really good CSing from Yawar in the tower, by the way. In the safe lane, great job from him there, getting the whole wave. And yeah, mid lane, she said, good for CCNC. This should be an OD favorite matchup, so expected outcome. Last game, I think he maybe did slightly better on Ember against Viper than expected. I'm not completely sure how that goes, but he did a great job. So far, so good for CCNC in this series. I wonder how this top lane is going to go in the long run. I feel like Legion will lose pretty hard, but to wait and see. Mind Control can, at the very least, he can always just cut the wave, right? Like, what's Legion going to do about it? They can both just cut waves. Legion hits it with the moment of courage, and Axe just kills it with Helix.
This bottom lane is so crazy because you've got Gyrocopter getting stunned up, bashed up. GH is burning through so much life on this bottom lane. And it's not because he's got himself a stack. In fact, they've put down 1 sentry ward to block the easy stack that GH wants to use, but there's 3 heroes that GH keeps clipping every single time with the Spirit. Yeah, nice Spirit to stop the salve on MSS. He was trying to outrange it so he could keep healing Yawar, but it got cancelled. And he also has to play around the Crystal Nova, which also has pretty good reach. Not that easy. Because they're underneath the tier 1 town, GH is not getting too over-aggressive. But that's exactly what you're talking about with the creep skipping. They're pulling him to the side lanes now, to the camps. You just grab it, all right, pull up another one. the aggro, go to mud golems, and let the CS just rain free.
Yep. There's a pretty sizable net worth advantage for Liquid right now, especially going the way of the Elder Titan. He's 500 net worth ahead of the other supports, and this is going to transition into, first of all, the boots advantage that he's currently sitting on. But once he gets the phase, this hero is a beast in lane.
He can just run down everybody.
They're securing Miracle really nicely down here. I like this laning from Liquid in the game. It's clever.
I don't know if there's really that much that can be done about it. GH going to go for the Stomp, just trying to separate MSS as well as Yoa.
He did do that, but that's all he did.
Yeah.
Yay!
Alright, he's always got his plus 40 damage to miss that last hit in the range creep with. That was looking really good for mind control. 2.2k and a bit above everybody else on this map. Oh, they just keep getting underneath that tower.
Yeah, he's winning this lane. And Axe will, when given a free side lane, I think Axe is the highest farming hero in Dota. I don't think you can put a side lane hero that can farm more efficiently than him in this early stage of the game. Counter Helix is just super efficient. He can kill the waves with no risk. And Snaking is doing the same, right? His hero's just worse at it. It's just how it is.
He's doing his best.
He's doing good. Like, I don't think you can ask for much more in this lane for Legion Commander. It's not a winning battle. Oh, Astral from CCNC will secure the rune for Snaking. Oh, nice call. Mind control just barely getting him on the edge there.
It's down bottom lane though. That's where the real pressure is. SD Disruption's already out. Miracle wants to finish off Pylai Die. The real one goes left while Weeha working with GH to bring down MSS. They're trying to get rid of the medic before they can get rid of Yoa. And even with the hit back with a swashbuckle, Yoa, the dive underneath the tower continues to stomp. Snaking arrives, he gets the door off. It's over on the anti-mage. No way to jump out, no way to use those 17 one charges that Miracle had ready to go. So Snaking wants a little bit more of his own. Over towards Kuro, TP out, able to be successful.
Half a second on disruption there.
Pango's in trouble. Against his TP, you are. Okay, there's not enough damage. Weeha will complete his TP. Goes back to Shrine so he can rematch up in the mid tower.
Feels pretty even because there's a rotation from both the Pango and the Axe. OD gets a full or two free waves mid over Weeha, so Weeha's now definitely far behind in mid after that bottom rotation.
A look at mind control. He waits for the 6-minute bounty rune to come up so then he can have a battle against CCNC. The Axe is meant to work well, but with the swashbuckle forward, CCNC still slowed up.
Nice fairy timing, perfect.
Too good. Mind control cannot get that culling blade to get the kill.
That was actually perfect. Weeha used the shield crash to get him under the threshold, and the moment the Axe animation was mid-air, he got the fairy fire off to pop just over 300. Didn't get culled. I think he was definitely in culling range. The kill threshold 250, I think he was on like 240 or 235. He fairies up, stays alive, goes to Shrine, he's back. Very nicely.
Spirit's going to work once again. Quick little sleep, and here comes, Banish from Pylai Die in the trees, making sure that mind control cannot get the call onto MSS. And the follow-up kill they wanted, but GH has plus 80 damage, ready to pump it in, but they're trapped inside the tree line, not coming out. CCNC will TP in as mind control begins his run away. 4 stacks of the Shadow Poison on him. They're going to pop in a second, but
I think he's okay. He's okay.
He's got the distance.
You're happy with that if you're Liquid. You force the rotation of OD and your Pango got space.
Duel up on top, anti-mage, level 4 up against that level 7s. Legion Commander, Miracle can just survive long enough.
Look at Snaking's skill build. I don't think I've seen this before. Not in a very long time, at least. This gives me some jungle LC memories coming back here. But usually you would max Moment of Courage in that case. But yeah, a lot of attack speed, low cooldown, press the attack. And yeah, the overwhelming odds are kind of useless if you're just farming, right?
Yeah.
Both of you are just farming, you might as well. Close to the kill on AM, set, but didn't quite get it.
It's a good observe for what this down at the moment from Newbee. It scouts at the rotation coming to bottom lane, so Yoa's a little bit more protected. This movement from mind control really is going begging.
Yeah, if MC hadn't moved, he would have 75 CS right now, or 80, I think. So his movements have been costly. They may have been necessary, but they definitely cost him. He could be level 8.5, almost 9, I think, from just farming, maybe even more.
Well, they finally put him back up on the top, but once again, Weeha The second time he's rotated towards the bottom lane, it's the second time he's run over top of the observer ward. So Newbee already ready. Weeha, shield crashing through, just wants to get the kill over on MSS. A quick jump away for Pylon Die. Once again, with the disruption, buys some time. Lyrical, he's actually joining this fight too, puts on the spell block. But who are you really going on with CCNC, who's also arrived? You can put down the sleeper. Kuro is trapped way too deep to help the rest of his team. The IO did at least die inside the tree line.
Yep, killed by Swashbuckle.
So many resources being committed from both sides of this bottom lane.
I think Io would have survived if it wasn't for the Arcane Rune Weeha had for this move. A low cooldown on Swashbuckle.
He wants to go for the duel. Mind Control knows it too. CCNC's rotated over. TP is on cooldown for Mind Control, but he uses phase boots and movement speed to outrun for the duel. Snaking just gets in range. The axe will tick on down, but it's still not enough damage. But there's no other supporters down on bottom lane where the battle is actually going on. So Mind Control gets one quick roar off, but that won't be enough. Pylon Die, fall on the bottom lane. You are Frostbit, Nut, Miracle, sticking on the back of this fight. That's the quickest way to get some, well, I say some money, but GH takes the double kill on bottom lane. I suppose that happens when you've got so much plus damage.
Are fortified.
So 2 for 1. The axe kill is big, but so is the... Well, Gyro and SD are not as big as the axe, right? But it's still, it's 2 kills and slowing down Gyro to now be a full level behind the anti-mage.
Oh, they're going after Pylon Die.
Tempo is definitely stifled here. Bounties soon.
Not where Kuro wants to be, but they want to fight for the bounty runes.
Yeah, they're going to leave him, get the bigger objective.
Mind Control might be able to take this top. Snaking knows it too. A quick roar and he won't be able to pick up anything.
He'll get them both. He's going to call him here and take the other one.
OD is TPing
oh, he's
in
not.
though.
Okay. Yep.
And he'll run away.
Dual, same play.
Yep. This is a rinse and repeat movement.
Deja vu here.
And we'll start with the orbs. Another imprisonment. It actually kind of feels like they're taking so long to do this. Now Mind Control. Another quick roar over onto. Run up the hill, 7-1 charges are available, and with the movement speed underneath the shrine, he'll end up surviving while Miracle kills MSS down on bottom lane. Snaking and CC and no matter how hard they try, they can't find the kill, but now Pylon Die. Weeha, the swashbuckle himself forward. Didn't want to go for the Rolling Thunder, but they would like to get a kill, not onto GH for once. That's his 4th kill of the game, out of the 8 that Team Liquid have claimed.
Liquid's got to be really happy with X surviving this. He's going to ping it again, that OD's there. They're still not rotating to help him. He feels safe, and he is. So much space from Mind Control here. Mid lane. Yeah,
he's trying to work with him. Gyrocopter does so much damage. Now the cooldown comes in. MSS returning to the fight with Pylon Die is TP'd in. The duel is out. And GH, that's a big kill spree to end. MSS will claim it. It just seems the day that supports get all the kills.
You're not mad at that. You want the IO to get the bottle. It's a good hero to get this kill on. But yeah, Liquid looking much better in this game than game number 1 currently. Relocate top, there's the play we've talked about. They can banish into reload. And this time he's dead. Another kill for IO. That's the bottle. I don't know if he wanted that kill. Well, now he has the bottle for sure.
You'll take it. Surprised actually that Kuro didn't deep ward out Pylon Die's Observer and Sentry. He should have known it was planted down. In fact, yeah, that's exactly what's happening now. Kuro is re-establishing that vision control. Meanwhile, up at top bounty room, Weeha, no.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Feels like Legion Commander's a little too scary for him to do anything against.
And now Axe is back. So, let's see. Blink Dagger coming up soon for Snaking. The OD is close to Veil. Nothing else to speak of on that side. On Liquid side, Axe's Dagger has been delayed seriously by this what's been happening lately. Miracle is probably the biggest winner out of everything that's happened relatively. He has good farm. He has only 1 death. The laning stage went very well for him. He's closing in on the probably what's going to be a 16-minute Battle Fury, I would assume. Maybe 17 if he gets killed once especially. And Weeha is going for Diffusal first item. Tango. That's pretty good this game. He might just go the Diffusal Axe route.
He's going to get the hell out of here. Into the Rolling Thunder. He just needs to roll away. Went up the hill instead. Legion Commander's coming around and, well, that's the easiest way to TP out.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's just wasting as much time as possible.
Well, it's working well. Mind Control's getting the space up on top lane. Miracle continues to farm up. Can't kill Miracle if you're too busy chasing the Pango. And GH is spending a lot more time up on this top lane now. Obviously ensuring that Mind Control can get to that Blink Dagger. The Blink Dagger for him has arrived a little late because the one's already there up on Snaking. He blinks in, takes out Kuro. And with the relocate from Yawar and MSS, it just helps get the kill.
That TP from Elder Titan was... I mean, he TP'd as fast as he could. The Maiden just insta-died. You can't save Kuro here.
It's a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. She might not even be worth TPing for. Like, it's... In this case, obviously wasn't. Died before Elder Titan even got here, but at the same time, he's defending the mid lane, which is very important. He can always push this out with the Spirit plus Stomp, and he'll get some decent experience here too. So not all that bad.
Radiant are
GH.
scanning.
No, MSS says no. He would have loved that.
Radiant's
Would have worked towards
tower
yet his
is
another
under
kill.
attack.
He's got 3 kills so far for MSS.
Notice the IO skill build, by the way. I think this is what you're going to be seeing a lot. IO's going 2 in Tether, and then either, if it's a really... I feel like you still generally will see Spirits maxed. Oh, duel.
Yep. I go to the wrong side of the map. It's Weeha.
Okay, for now.
Swashbuckle away, starts
Disrupt.
with a Rolling Thunder, and Disruption's out. And once again to come back into a quick jump away, the homing missile connects, and Weeha will die.
It's under attack.
You belong in the...
Thought that sounded a lot closer than where I was going to click to.
Would you believe it? Now, Snaking is almost level 13, and Mind Control's level 10. Almost level 11, though. So it's a 2-level lead now for the Legion Commander. This rune goes to CCNC. Kuro is coming in to threaten, but...
Oh, he actually needs to instantly Frostbite now. Mind Control. Yeah, doesn't want anything to do with Snaking. Jumps in. Kuro gonna start to let it go. But man, the hammer drops. The relocate came in, and CCNC has himself a double kill.
This will do nice.
That was super good communication from Newbee. CCNC is like, I'm gonna get this rune. I might need help. Legion is ready to TP in. They get the banish. They take the rune. They know that Axe wants to turn and try to get a kill for it with Kuro. They could call into the Maiden ulti, try to kill the OD. Legion's there, instantly press the attack, and they get 2 kills out of it with the OD ulti. That was very nicely done. Of course, that's one of those situations where Veil of Discord really comes in handy. The extra damage on the OD ulti just blew up Kuro as he was ulting there. And they get a tower for it too. Very nice sequence here coming in from Newbee.
They can keep this pressure up. Snaking though, so he feels very confident. He's got his Blink Dagger, OD's got his. So double jump initiations available or saves, depending how you look at it.
Fighting is hard for Liquid.
Weeha wants it though. He sees MSS, quick disarm, but doesn't stop the tether of snaking away, and Weeha chasing with the Rolling Thunder's gone a little too deep. So he'll just do laps around the Roche pit. Meanwhile, Miracle still continues his farm. Almost at that Battle Fury.
So 16.5 is what it's going to be. That's a good timing when you try lane like this and you don't have a totally free lane. Should be pretty happy with this. And yeah, kind of like last game, he's the guy to look toward. The way Liquid have been drafting in these 2 games, they're definitely putting a lot of eggs in the Miracle basket to have a good game. And I don't feel like this is a particularly great AM game, but I think it's good enough that if Liquid take 1 or 2 good fights, AM can carry this for sure. The OD matchup is always interesting because it kind of goes both ways, right? OD has this massive pure damage from Arcane Orb, but at the same time you need to be careful not to get mana voided. He's resistant against your ulti as well as the Astral, but at the same time you can mana burn him too so he can't blink. So there's a lot of dynamic in this matchup that's actually really interesting to watch during fights. But I love to see from Miracle in this. It's kind of natural for him to do it in this game because he's against a tri-lane anyway, but he bought a magic wand. It's not an item you see on AM in every game, but this will guarantee him that he can wand blink if he gets mana burned by OD, and it was necessary for his laning stage 2. Very good to have on AM in this case.
Initiation's flying on the Courier at the moment to Mind Control.
Yeah, that's a big item. They need this. Like, it's still, like I said, it still feels hard for Liquid to initiate fights if they don't see where the saves are located. Who do you jump on? Like, if you could pick any hero in the game, like, I'm X-calling this guy, who do you choose? Gyro, he's going to get either relocated out, astraled, or disrupted. Any of the saves, they're going to get saved by each other. And if the fights go long, I don't think Liquid are favored. I think they need to burst. Long fights, when Pango ulti runs out, when the X call's expended, you're going to die to the gyro.
Smoke's breaking. Mind Control. Blink gets the call off. Over on Pylai dies. Snaking trying to break him free. Give him some extra life with the overwhelming odds. It's going to work. And now with the dual ET splitter, it hits back pretty damn hard, but they're going to survive through it. Axe, he's so low on life, and he will go down. IO trapped inside the river with the Mana Void. They just bring in just enough damage to finish the job, but this is still 2-for-1 trade-off. And Liquid, they smoked up. They were the initiators in this.
It is so hard to kill the Radiant if they're in good position. They almost got the Shadow Demon. Then in this situation, there's no better play, right? You jump this guy, you can't purge the Axe Call, so even though he gets healed by the Legion, he's still taunted, but they don't have the damage. And then he saves himself, and the Cavalry arrives. And yeah, they clean up 2 kills. I think that could have gone even worse for Liquid, honestly. 2-for-1 is not the worst outcome of that situation.
If Snaking got another duel victory, then yeah, it would have gotten even worse. He's already at plus 30. And they're looking for their own initiation.
Oh, that would
Snaking,
be a great
he's actually
kill.
waiting. They were chasing him before. But he's got his Observer Ward down, so he feels comfortable. Mind Control, miss blinks. Obviously doesn't know the Snaking went up. But they're already pinging out the fact that, yeah, Observer Ward removed. CCNC Pilot Eye, they're coming in as well. But Miracle's starting to scale, and scale quick.
Yep. Gotta look at probably a Manta in 3 minutes.
Mind Control. Misses the blink call. Disruption will begin. Snaking ready to go. He's got dual available. Mind Control's not a healthy man. But they don't know exactly what's up the hill. They know there's an Observer Ward there. They keep scouting it out. Now they get rid of it.
Are they gonna fight? Okay, I'm actually really curious what's gonna happen on the runes right now. Liquid seem to be, yeah, they're giving up on the top. And now IO is scouting with the spirits, so they will get a 3rd one bottom. 3 for 1.
Bounty.
There you go. And Liquid were the ones to TP, so that's like an extra little victory there. And the Blade Mill is now online. And this is a big item because you've seen these last duels from Snaking. He's been lacking that little bit extra. With this Blade Mail, he can solo kill Anti-Mage. Flat out just kill him in a duel. And there's nothing Miracle can do about it except predicting that it's coming and not getting caught. They have no save. The best play they maybe have is like maybe Elder Titan can stomp in time, or there can be a Frostbite coming out, but
You kind of need like Yulsa just to begin or something else. Like nothing else really helps. You got Vlad's and you got Medallion from ET. That's his current assistance.
I could definitely see Yule's being a good pickup here. It might be better than the Vlad's, to be honest. I like that idea too, but yeah, who's gonna get it now? Pango wants the Axe, Axe wants the Blade Mail.
Actually, then Snaking gets BKB, and then Yuls actually won't
Kuro
do
wants a
jack.
brace. No.
Like how Kuro, he's got the money for it. He's like, nope, 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 nope. I can't expend this cash. Weeha and Mind Control looking for their own opening on bottom lane. Weeha's going for the Aghanim style build on the Pango. A heavy damage output increase. Mind Control, if you can get Blade Mail too, cause some problems for Newbee when they're getting aggressive.
But CCNC is big. He is really fun. He is still ahead of the Battle Fury Anti-Mage, minute 21.
Kuro, Smoke's gonna break, blink him. There's your first duel out, Legion Commander. Look at Pango. He is really killing himself, but they sleep him off. Pango needs to jump away into the Rolling Thunder. You'll get the jump out. You do drop the hammer from CCNC. The damage enough to kill off CM, but now with Pango, we are back into the fight again. You have enough damage control on Snaking to get Miracle the kill off him, and a triple kill from CCNC.
Oh!
Who blinks away, and Miracle's back up the road.
That's a rare one from GH there. I wonder if we're going to get a replay of that. He mistimed his stomp by a half second.
I'm fairly certain
least
we can get a replay.
on the OD. That could have maybe been an escape route for him, but it ends up being 3 kills going the way of CCNC for only the one of Miracle killing off Snaking. CCNC very quick to self-astral, so he didn't get Mana Voided, and then Miracle's like, meh, I'll get this other guy. Guess that's also fine. But yeah, that fight was a little bit scrappy, and you saw the Frostbite actually did work.
Yeah, here we go.
He
So this is
blinked,
the moment.
yeah, so we're going to see the Blink Blade Mail coming in here onto Weeha, and then the very quick Frostbite from Kuro lowers the damage enough that Weeha does stay alive initially. And now we're going to see the OD ulti just barely doesn't hit Weeha, so he gets the Rolling Thunder off. And now things are starting to look dicey for CCNC. He takes a lot of damage, the AM comes in, very quick Astral, and now, look at this stomp from GH. How mistimed that was. Astral back into live, they kill Miracle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
In towards the mid lane, he was just a little bit too far out, farming aggressively. And you've got Weeha trapped in the tree lines. He'll shield crash himself up the hill. They're trying to keep the spirits up there, Snaking jumps up, but that's why Weeha rolling boulders down and then rolling thunders away to safety.
Oh, he needs to not die to side gunner. Oh, that was actually a bit dangerous what he just did. Rolling past the gyro with Ags. but he was fine. Yeah, honestly, Newbee just looked really good, man. I like their draft. I really like the way they're playing.
You love the CCNC's had 2 huge games as well back-to-back.
Absolutely. He's been playing really good Dota in these 2 games, and once he gets the BKB in this one, you feel like this is the kind of game that he can almost, you know, in any given fight, he can just be the absolute difference maker. He has huge damage potential. He has some good matchups. We talked about a couple of the Liquid heroes have pretty bad base intelligence and intelligence gain, and he can punish them with that ulti really easily. And with the Veil build-up too, we only talked about how it affects his ulti. It's really good for his team too. Overwhelming odds, Shadow Poison, the gyro damage, hugely magical with Maelstrom, Call Down, Homing Missile, the Spirits. It's just all coming together really nicely for Newbee in this game. And you look at Liquid's lineup and you got to play the AM game. That's just, that's the strat. That's what you have to do. And Anti-Mage is not ready.
No.
He needs Scotty and maybe another item after. Maybe a Butterfly, maybe an Abyssal, so that he can initiate a fight. But there's always that threat of the duel that Miracle has to play around. And that's difficult. It's actually really difficult.
And it keeps getting stronger and stronger too. Like you talk about like the damage output and how Liquid can go against it, but I just keep watching that dual damage tick up plus 48 at the moment.
Yeah, and every time
the attack speed's increased up with the 15 talent.
And when Miracle gets stronger, he hits himself harder too. So in the Blade Mail, right?
Yep.
It's not easy.
That's why he needs a Scotty, right? He needs the extra life, he needs to sustain.
Yeah, but it also gives him more attack speed and damage. So, I mean, I don't know. The equation probably favors the defensive aspect by a bit, but not by that much, actually. Obviously, you know, you do a lot of damage as AM in this duel.
They're still looking for it. Get inside the jungle, farm up anti-mage's areas, put down observers and sentries. So Newbee can get some information. Because how long could this game go on? It's like game 1, we went through it. I was like, you know what, okay, this was fun, but we kind of knew where the end of the tunnel was. In this game, like, where is the end? Like, an OD is terrible at pushing high ground. You've at least got great split pushing power, but how does Newbee win this game against Liquid?
If they take a good fight, you can take towers relatively quickly with a gyro Ags. If you think about it, the Ag's side gunner fire rate being 1.1, it's almost like having a double damage, right? When it's only the tower you can hit, that extra hit every second is really useful for pushing when he gets his first damage item. He has a Maelstrom, which doesn't really do anything to towers, but once he gets, let's say, a Butterfly or maybe an MKB, you start taking towers quickly.
This is becoming problematic for Snaking. Like, he's got to battle up against these illusions of the AM, but he doesn't have enough mana to do press the attack, duel, and Blade Mail.
He has Soul Ring.
He has, oh, you're right, he has Soul Ring. He can get enough bin then.
Unless if he's dry, then that's still not enough. But you can still, even if you're dry, you can still blink Blade Mail duel. So sure, you don't have your press the attack, but the AM is going to do the full damage to himself. And if you have one ally nearby, that should be enough to get the kill off.
Great observer to see so much. Sees Yuan coming up through the rune point. As Weehard trying to put this Aghanim Interceptor to work, just bouncing around everywhere. But as GH caught in the back lines, can't get the stomp off in time. The homing missile actually changing his targets overall as Weehard caught inside the call down. So he'll go down to the dual combination, and letting it go allows Mind Control to TP away to safety. Makuro trapped up inside the tree lines, and Team Liquid, they've already lost 3. They've killed a support, and now they're going to lose their final support as well.
That's a dual kill.
It is a dual kill. Plus 74 now on Snaking. And Team Liquid, and you thought they're having the AM game, but Miracle just seems to die so quickly in these fights too.
Yep.
They saw him coming, they had the observer ward down.
Anti-Mage is not ready yet. Like, this is still, I feel like this fight is almost unwinnable for Liquid, because Anti-Mage the hero is just not good right now in the game. It needs more time. And sure, the Rolling Thunder there from Weeha, again, really good defensive spell usage from Newbee, right? CCNC with a perfect self-astral. They had the heroes in the right positions to dodge out. I think the Rolling Thunder maybe hit nothing or one hero once. And once that runs out, you know, we've talked about it, these extended fights, what have Liquid really got? Like, if they don't burst somebody in the Axe Call and in the Rolling Thunder, their damage is weak.
Yeah.
It's just flat out weak. They have to be able to get these initial kills, and they're just getting outplayed in the moves, really. Newbee are playing super good Dota. If they can keep up this kind of level of play, they could definitely be a possible upper bracket team from this group.
They are hunting. Here comes Mind Control in for the call. MSS is there for the tether. Have they got the damage to kill off the gyrocopter with Mind Control's Blade Mail? They do. They burn through the Aegis Immortal, but Duel is out. And Anti-Mage, he turned it around with the Spell Shield. It still doesn't matter. AM is still dead. Mind Control can't run himself away from this. Or can he? With the shield crush down? No, he can't. Yua's got himself a double kill. CCNC wants his own. They're waiting for Weeha to get out of that Rolling Thunder so they can go on him again with a defensive imprisonment. Weeha still can't finish the job on Sneaking. Finally, he has a double kill down, but so is the call down. Weeha will get out of range to the second missile, but not the homing one. Tango will fall. Buybacks available. GH couldn't help him out anymore. That's the closest fight that we've seen Team Liquid have, and that wasn't close at all.
Yeah, it was next to their own tower, and this time it felt like they got a good jump, right? They got the blink call out on the gyro with the blade mail on. He does kill himself once. The relocate failed because of a good stun cancel. You couldn't really have asked for much more there for Liquid, except for the last 10 minutes to be different, right?
Yeah.
And again,
not to kill one of the other cores and not just the supports.
And I love it from Snaking, you know, just wait for the Anti-Mage. Let him come in. If he wants to fight, he's gonna kill himself. Like, he's soloed him. You know, this AM just dies. And I kind of fundamentally disagree with the way Liquid have been trying to play the last 10 minutes, but it's always easy to, from the observer standpoint, to be like, just dodge them, you know? Yeah. Just don't get caught, just don't fight. But if they feel super cornered on the map and like they have to do something, you have to do something. But I can tell you, this is not what Lyrical wants. At this point, 30 minutes in the game, in a good AM game, you have the Scotty plus another item. He's very far behind par now on the AM. And it's one of those games now where unless you somehow either dodge for 10 minutes and get AM to his timing, or, oh, that's...
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Axe is gone, call down goes. They looked for the 30-minute rune, and I'm surprised they looked for it.
That was just flat out naive. They're getting desperate, Toby. That's not Liquid.
The Snakey's looking for their own fight.
That was a two-man jump on a bounty rune with 5 heroes missing.
Yeah, I'm very uncertain. I thought we were going to keep on farming. That's why I wasn't even moving the camera for it.
They even have a ward on their own top bounty rune, so they knew nobody from Newbee was up there. And they still go for this jump, just super greedy for that bounty. And yeah, I mean, easy punish.
Blink in, he's hit the duel, but over from the illusion. Woo. That's how Miracle survives. He just needs Snaking to choose poorly.
Yep.
That was not the Holy Grail.
Good quick Manta.
Snaking had to make a choice, though.
Yeah, you have to try.
He had a 1 in 3.
Exactly. You got to try. Just go for it.
He's still sitting at plus 100 bonus damage. Easy. He's building into his own BKB. A lot of the stuns, a lot of the magical damage, like it's just not going to threaten him at all.
We hot top. Oh my
God.
Okay.
Well, the hammer's been burnt. Weeha will heal up.
That's really good for Liquid. That gives them a potential. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They still lose the fight without OD ulti, I think.
Yeah, you now have blink scythe from CCNC. It's
That's another issue for AM, and he can't. I mean, he can spell shield it, but if OD BKBs at least, then doesn't self hex. But you gotta be so careful now as Liquid. In a way, you gotta try to play defensive. In another way, you're like, okay, ODLJ is down. It's not gonna get better than this. We just got our Scotty on Miracle. We will try this fight. I don't think they're favored, but if everything connects...
They find Yuan. They want to kill him off quickly. CNC, is there a defense? If that's a relocate. The banishment's also there, but what's really left? Kuro's letting it go. Snaking will jump in. He'll start the duel. Crystal Maiden stands no chance here at all. Another victory their way, but Liquid are in full retreat.
That was a pretty funny situation. Yawar insta BKB'd the jump, so then CCNC couldn't save him with Banish, but they can reload him out. So one of their saves works on BKB and the other two don't. But again, if any save is nearby, he just doesn't die to this axe call. And Liquid should be happy they only lost a Maiden there. That looked like it could have been a total travesty, but...
Hey, this is just buying them time. Miracle's getting his farm in.
Yeah.
He's able to push out the lanes. You're getting something. Like, I'm not saying that Team Liquid are in a great position. Like, the net worth's not looking good their way. Once again, the experience. Like, there's not even an Alchemist in this game. It's 30,000 is the experience advantage for Newbee right now.
This doesn't look like the kind of game that AM can be the only core in anymore. Yep. I think even if they let Miracle free farm, as long as they farm themselves, I don't think he wins it anymore. I think he needs a teammate to step up here. We need some damage out from this Pango. We need Axe to get anything.
He's gone A
no
on disc.
items. Axe has such a terrible game right now. Remember how we said how good Mind Control's games was set up to be? He had such a good start in the laning stage. He makes 2 or 3 rotations to help his teammates out, and he sacrificed his own game hardcore for that. So.
And now Weeha and Miracle are actually battling over neutral camp farming.
Yeah, they just don't have very much space on the map to work with right now. Snake King is hoping that somebody's gonna go fishing bottom.
CCNC is hoping someone will fight up on top. Because if anyone comes to fight, he just blinks in, he gets the scythe, and the relocate gets the follow-up. And Snake King, he's making his own movement up. Hide in the trees, wait for Liquid to come to you.
I would have loved to see Miracle send in one illusion here. Maybe he could have baited something. He doesn't know they're here, but he has a feeling, clearly. If he sends in one illusion, maybe he gets a free duel out of that, or maybe the OD Hex reveal. Snake King? Oh, almost got him.
He needs some distance.
Connect it.
GH gonna put down the Spirit, wants to get the sleep off. Relocate's coming in. Great movement of the Spirit. Going further down south to where she stuns up the relocating into Io and Gyro. But Mind Control, he just doesn't have the live CCNC's gonna protect himself with the BKB. As Mind Control attempts to juke, blinks himself away. Is there a stun? There's a banish from Pylai Die. That'll do the work, and Mind Control will fall.
I actually thought CCNC was gonna hex the Pango out of the duel, but he went to hex the Axe instead, so the counter initiate isn't there. Both plays are good in different ways. When watching that, it's probably better to hex the Pango and get that kill, because, I mean, sure, Axe can jump in, so what? You have all these saves. Like, he's not going to kill anyone, but, yeah. He got that guy instead. It's also another good kill. Axe is once again slowed down. Bounties are coming up.
Oh, the blink in from CCNC.
He didn't know.
He's still got plus 32 intelligence and hits with the Sandy's a clip. Miracle. No way he can survive that. Kurupik gets his own TP out to safety. He'll be okay. But you lost your big one. Ahem's down for the count again. And maybe they find more. Weeha. The Aeon Disc will trigger. Swashbuckle, a shield crash, as deep as he can possibly get. Snake King's looking for him as well. This is one thick bush. They can't see him through it.
And Snake King TP's away straight into mid to put some pressure here and try to push. Miracle knows there's a Hex on OD in this situation. He knows. If it has been communicated properly, Axe has said, okay, there's a Hex on OD, but he still takes the risk here, and that's expensive. That's a really big death. It's 4 bounties. It's a tier 3, or 3 bounties, excuse me. 3 bounties, tier 3.
Snake is itching. He's really hoping for a grab on Kuro. No Glimmer Cape, no protection. Mind Control gets the call. Lobs can drag Yawar underneath the tier 4 towers, but only for a half second.
Tier stat resistance.
Here comes your jump forward with the Rolling Thunder, going through 3 heroes, trying to bounce them in and around the ramp area. But now that's burnt. The melee rack is opened up.
Gyro Cop Satanic is such an incredible item against Axe in so many ways. Status resistance is great. If you activate it before you get Blink Blade Mail called, you can heal yourself up during the call. You have health. It's just, it's such a nice item to have here for Yawar. You just see why there. I was gonna say very good discipline to back off, but in a way I kind of feel like they could have got this, maybe, the Rax. Like they had OD Hex ready, they had no Pango ulti. At the same time though, there's no Sanity's Eclipse. Gyro and Io had relatively low resources, so I honestly don't really mind them backing off here. I just think keep up the pressure once you have OD ult again. Go for another fight.
They probably also want to be a little bit safe. If you look at the KDA, it's 12-0-3 on CCNC, and Yawar's walking around with 10-1-4. Like, these are 2 big kills. Even if they lose, even if Liquid get one of these.
Yeah, it's worth dying 2 or 3 heroes for, almost. Unless one of them is AM, then it's not.
Here's your run forward. AM illusions? No, they are, because, hey, smoke don't break. Liquid, they have the high ground for the moment. Ward gets dewarded out, so Snake King, just removing that extra information of Team Liquid. And they're already retreating out. Like, Weeha's gone bottom. They could try and contest Roshan. He will respawn in 36 seconds. It's a long spawn timer that Newbee have had to wait for.
Top shrine is under attack.
Yep.
God, there's so much money actually on Miracle.
Wonder if you give the OD the Aegis this time and just the cheese on Io and you feel like Gyro will not die. Logically, it's also good to give the Aegis to Gyro because he's your high ground sieger, so he can stand in front safely. But in a way, it feels like, how is Yawar gonna die? Like, how are they actually gonna kill him if the Io has a cheese and he has the Satanic? I'm wondering what they're going to do here. I honestly, no matter what they choose, I think it's fine.
So you're going to be able to pop MSS before he can do anything else, but then you've also got disengage after you get the pop.
Yeah, how do you pop Wisp? He's got 2 saves. Like, there's an SD with a save, there's an OD with a blink save.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I can tell you from experience.
Oh, Axe! Oi! Oh, mind control. This may be his night death. He turns on the blade mail, but Yuai's on the chase. The homing missile's coming as well. The call down, well off target. Mind control not protected anymore. The Glimmer Cape is worn off, and Yuai just goes for the double kills. Moves out, goes after Koro, while Anti-Mage gets trapped. A little bit further down, Weeha banished. He actually got the Thunder off, but no, he doesn't. Down he goes with a double kill. Mind control bought back just in case his 9 deaths when already an economical problem. And this will be Roshan, or it'll be Midrax, or it'll be both.
I'll tell you from experience, if you're playing against these lineups with 2 or 3 saves, if you don't have good silences, like Silencer Global, or, you know, heroes with very useful silences, or really strong team fight, getting kills is so hard. Like, Liquid's fights are not taken terribly. It's just really difficult. Like, engaging onto this if Newbee are on their toes and have good positioning feels next to impossible. And I just think, again, in this game, Newbee's strategy is exceptional. They're playing really good draft, they're playing really good Dota, and I'm super impressed. I was not expecting this to be a 2-0 for them, which looks very likely at this point. They're very far ahead in the game. We'll get Roshan too.
Yeah.
And it's a really strong showing from them.
It's clean Dota. Everyone's playing their role. All lanes seem to be doing something too, and you're just not feeling that from Team Liquid. Like, it's the Miracle show, great, but like, unless Miracle goes big, you're not going to feel his presence. And mind control, like, it feels so sad for this guy. He's always been looking for the greatest way to run the off lane, but that's now his 10th death in this game after what was the best start he could have asked for.
I'm looking at Mind Control's game, and I'm looking at his kill, and I'm like, what the hell is he supposed to do in this game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if you want to fault him mainly for anything, it's probably for the rotations he did early, but that's not an easy decision to make. He could have stayed top and got really rich, but that costs his team a bit. Like, then he has to sacrifice a couple of heroes in this bottom or mid lane instead of coming to help his team. But in the end, like, his game is just extremely difficult, and he has to go for his team. Who else is going to engage?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you gotta jump, right? If you're not letting the enemy team totally control the game.
Koro's going to engage. He jumps in, goes for the frostbite. He takes so much damage, he's almost going to die from this. And maybe with MSS, though, just Yule dodges. Weeha's jump forward. The EG splitter hits on nothing, but Miracle does get the back lines, killing a pylon.
He hits himself.
Salting out the buyback, but there is the Hex out, and they got the control. CCNC so damn low. He's actually got not enough life. Or does he? Still alive. Weeha. Okay, that's how they get his enough life. Liquid just die. And then there's no more damage to be done. Kuro will let it go. But this is 2-0 in favor of Newbee. They start off their Ti9 campaign with a hell of a lot of strength. Solid Dota all round from Newbee. And Liquid, man, it feels begging of what game they were looking to turn up to play here.
They're the kind of team, though, that will have a series like this, and they will analyze it, and they'll break it down, and they'll realize what went wrong and what they need to do. I personally feel like the drafting from Newbee was better. I think their individual plays were also better. But there's a lot you can do after the first series. After all, you're playing 8 series in the groups. This is just the beginning for Liquid, and it's
about the first series of
it's about picking yourself up, right? So, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board and change a couple of things here, but more than anything, you just got to give credit to Newbee. I honestly think it was more them playing exceptionally well than it was Liquid totally dropping the ball today in this series.
Yeah.
But obviously, you would have liked to see more out of Liquid.
Yeah.
It was definitely not their best showing, but man, Newbee looked great.
Yeah, they do.
Good Dota.
I want to see more Dota from them, but for now, we will have ourselves a quick break, and we're back the second series of the day. Don't worry, you got a lot of Dota. There's 5 series in total across 4 different streams today. Go and watch them all. We'll see you in a bit.
Man, Newbee looked great.
Yeah, they
That was
do.
good Dota.
I want to see more Dota from them. But for now, we will have ourselves a quick break and we're back for the second series of the day. Don't worry, you got a lot of Dota. There's 5 series in total across 4 different streams today. Go and watch them all. We'll see you in a bit.